monthly for January 2023. We've made it almost entirely to the next year, and I'm waiting to see if this is going to launch. I've been having a little bit of a struggle with YouTube this morning. All right, there we go. Zoom changed a bunch of things. YouTube changed a bunch of things. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to get this to launch. The view will not be crooked when I've got the camera up. Hello, everyone. I hope you had a beautiful December. It was very eventful for me. There is a thumbnail with a higher resolution picture of our 4 piles. Take a moment, select your pile. That's going to be the message you're most meant to receive for the month. We're going to start adjusting the camera now. You can always pause it if you need to. We're going to see where the camera landed, because one of the funnest things that we do here, fun, is wait to see if the feed will catch up to me appropriately and whether or not I've hit the correct window for it. We're going to turn our light up ever so slightly. I just recorded a podcast. Hey, everybody, my podcast has already launched on iHeartRadio. It is a soft launch, which means that I'm not going to be plugging it a whole bunch because it takes a couple of weeks for it to be available on all services. And so I put my first episode up. You can look for it. It is called Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica. And I've been having a great time with it. I've had some really fun guests already, and I have some more coming for you. We have Jonathan Perez from Latinos Against Spooky Shit. We have Karen Rontowski from KarenRontowski.com, and live stand-up psychic stand-up. That's what her show is. We've been friends for a while, and it's actually always a really good time when we get together. All right, everybody. So that's my channel announcement. Don't forget to look for the new podcast. I will be posting videos at a different point of it because we do record it via Zoom. And I'm having a wonderful time with it, and I hope you're able to join me. Let's get started with pile number 1. Timestamps, as always, will be edited in after the broadcast. We have the Universal Celtic Tarot bringing you your predictive spreads. We have our pre-selected oracle cards. I'm going to get some more because why? I have a genuine problem with oracle cards. We're going to start with getting the angel answers card and the cookie card out. Remember, the premise behind this is if you have a question I did not answer, hopefully the angel answers card will give you some information that will help you. And then the cookie card is usually just for fun. They're little fortune cookie cards. We're going to start with the Making Magic card, which is Mystic Star, Harmony in the Home and Great Friendships. There is a very equalizing energy throughout 2023. If 2022 felt like all you ever did was get tested, try to deal with burdens, it felt like everything pushed back. That is to help you build up strength in your struggles. And there is worth in our struggle. It is a little bit like weight training, where you keep increasing weight to get stronger. Try and think of it that way. And one of the things that can help us get through difficult times is to look at them, and instead of saying, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to me? Because realistically, there is no why. If you look across the world throughout this reality, there are people in war-torn lands, people who are starved, people who are beaten. And it is simply part of being in this reality. It is not handed out on merit. So remember that it's not a punishment. It is part of a life experience. And if we reach towards our guidance, there is something that can help us make our experience better, and that we can continue to improve our lives if we will go towards it. And if you look at your struggles and say, not why is this happening to me? Because the why is why anybody, but what can I learn from it? And what am I learning about myself that I might need to heal so that I can have a better experience? Or what ways have I improved and I'm proud of myself and I love myself more? It will help as you face struggles. When you encounter pushbacks, when you encounter obstacles, and when you encounter difficulties, please try to approach them that way. It will make your experience richer, and it will also hasten your spiritual evolution. Let's get going here as well. It's okay to say no is your Art Enchanted Oracle card. It's the Enchanted Art Oracle. And remember that saying no without elaboration is part of setting boundaries. You don't need to apologize. Sometimes we need to say no to something. And we're really taught that that is somehow offensive to the other person. When somebody's asking you to do something and you need to say no, you can simply say, no, I'm not able to do that. You do not need to explain why. If you wish to, you can, but understand that is something that is preserving the nature or the basically the flow of a relationship versus an obligation. Okay. All right, from your Wisdom of the Night Oracle, I have so many Oracle decks, I forget the names sometimes. We have obedience. Obedience is an interesting one because the only thing we truly want to obey is our personal conscience. And we are, if I'm always saying this life is a great big university and we're all here to learn different things. If you're in my collective, you are likely an educator or a healer or like an organizer. I have a lot of people who are here trying to help make this place a better place. And if that does not describe you, I am unlikely to be the reader for you, and that's cool. And it isn't a case of superior or inferior life paths, by the way. Everybody comes here, think of it as everybody having different majors. That's the easiest way to do it. Like some people who are very invested in the law of attraction are here to learn how to manipulate energy. Technically, that is an initiate level of magic, but it doesn't mean that people who perform higher level magic are somehow superior. It means that they are in a different learning experience, and one is not superior or inferior to the other. Your wisdom oracles are Milk and Honey, Success, Ka-ching, Mystic Star. This looks beautiful. Unfinished Symphony, and then Milk and Honey. I always have to reverse these two. I don't know why I don't just like take them in reverse whenever I. Unfinished Symphony, Milk and Honey. There's more to come with your success. You have learned likely to persevere. If 2022 had a t-shirt, it would have persevere on it because we were all asked to just keep going despite a lot of setbacks. And there is more coming to you, is one of this is saying. The obedience, remember, obey only your own conscience and your connection to the divine. And that is not to say go out there and break laws, but I mean, do not think that everything that you do is part of obligation. Obligatory love is not the same thing as real love. It is a responsibility versus an energy that is created through an open heart space. Obligation has a tendency to close down our heart space, and you can still do things that are about loving and supporting and caring for others, but know that it is a choice rather than something that is an obligation. And obedience is one of those things that truly obey your soul, your conscience, and your connection to the divine, no matter how that manifests. And that is the obedience that you're meant to practice. You are not meant to walk in lockstep to any other conforming structure, particularly if you are a healer and an educator. You are here to expand other people's consciousness and your own. All right, I have stuck energy under Unfinished Symphony with transformation. Boy, they really want you to know, they know that you have felt blocked like whoa, and they are actually trying to correct that. Again, why does that kind of thing happen? Because we do need to learn endurance. We do need to build our power. We do need to build our ability to have faith in oneself. Until you can have faith in the divine for days, but until such time as you have faith in you, it's very difficult for you to accomplish things. You have to believe in yourself. And I need people to hear this as well. We get stuck sometimes in healing patterns when we've been in a lot of pain. Healing is as much a choice as it is a process, meaning choosing to try and feel better. If you've been badly, badly injured, don't tell yourself I'm never going to heal. Tell yourself I am. I am healing. I will find the way. I will keep going until I am healed. And some of us have had tremendous burdens in that. And so I'm not in any way belittling or in any way making reductive and reducing your pain or your suffering, just saying that a key component to healing is choosing to try and heal. And I am not somebody who says, all experiences are great, all change is good. I think that is ignoring pain, and that we do need to process the pain in order to understand and learn from the experience. All right, I have from the archetype cards. I just finished filming a podcast. If I seem to Tanya is a bit scattered, that's why. Judge. Light attribute is balancing justice and compassion, managing the fair distribution of power. I love that with obedience, by the way, because that's exactly the heart of it. Managing the fair distribution of power. And then the shadow attribute is offering only destructive criticism, misusing business, legal, or criminal authority. We are not seeking to have power over others. The only power that we truly wish to have is over our own life, our own trajectory, and our own path. Invest in your personal power and your ability to shape your reality. Try not to worry too much about power structures beyond you who are trying to control you and make you obey. You are here to do the job that you're asked to do. Tap into your external guidance. And remember, almost every power structure within the 3D has an agenda. Make sure you ask what that agenda might be and why they are asking you to do something. I have a Messiah. Light attribute, serving humanity with humility. We've all healers have to try to do that. Sometimes it means that we feel like we're being served last at the buffet, but it is a great honor and something that we signed up for as healers. No matter how difficult your path has been, and as difficult as this is to believe you chose this experience, knowing that there was a reason for it, that you wished to do something, and we invest greatly in our suffering in the 3D when we are here, but when we are in a non-corporeal state and like perusing our like educational catalog to see what we're going to sign up for next, quite frequently we will choose lives with tremendous struggle because there is a part of us that knows we are strong enough, that we are resilient enough, that we possess enough love and compassion to overcome any source of pain. All right, there we go. Put you down to you, and then your sacred traveler is transformation. I only ever do that because I don't look at these at all. In fact, if one flips and it's in the upright where I can see it, I won't take it. I'll put it back in. So when these themes emerge, it's as weird to me as it is to anybody. Things are transforming. That has a literal phoenix on it. Prepare. If you feel like 2022 burned you to the ground, it is so that 2023 can cause your phoenix to arise from the ashes. And then I have retreat. Retreat from your obligations, from your usual social circles, retreat into self. It's the hermit mode, is very important for people who put forth a great deal of energy. Allow yourself to recharge. Recharging and retreating are essential to people who give of their own personal energy. Let's get going with the Universal Celtic Tarot, which this is a maiden read, other than the fact that I shuffled it when I got it pretty thoroughly. It is the maiden read for this, and I always get, because I use so many different decks, an incredibly clear read off of a brand new deck. Let's get going here. Whoa, who's this? Lovers in the upright, which is a card of soulmates. It can literally be like lovers having your divine counterpart with you. It is usually about being whole within and being reminded to be careful with your choices, but it's also the Gemini card. And that came out with the world in the upright. The world is complete cycles. It is success. It is a new day dawning, as if a new year is upon us. 2023, by the way, looks awesome. And if you're in my collective for like the last 3 years, it might have felt like it was pushing 17 boulders up a hill every single day. There was a reason behind that, but that energy is breaking in 2023, and momentum should start to shift, and there should be a great deal more movement. And again, if none of this describes you, then like it's absolutely cool, because there are beautiful, wonderful, incredibly talented readers all over tarot, all over YouTube in the tarot world. But I may not be the reader for you if that doesn't describe the experience that you've been having. Here we go. Let's get going. 2 and 3. We're going to be done here as I try to focus and ground after talking about paranormal experiences. All right. I have the 4 of Pentacles in the upright, which is a stable energy. It is a holding on to things. It's a secure energy. It is being surrounded by protection in the 3D as well. Remember, the Pentacles are about our earthly concerns, our security, money, health, everything in the practical, I can touch it 3D. Here we go. I have the 6 of Cups in the upright. That's a relationship to the past. Sometimes it's our actual childhood, remembering where you came from. Frequently for me, that is a past life relationship, and it can be the most potent form of soulmate. Now, all tarot readers have a different relationship to their cards. This for me is a connection that recurs again and again over lifetimes. That is in the recent past. It looks to me as if you have been dealing with past connections and seeing them for what they were and what they weren't, and releasing those that no longer belong in your life and retaining the ones that do. And that is an essential part of people come and go. They have to. We are meant to have different travelers with us on the road of life. Sometimes people are meant to go forward with us, and sometimes we are meant to take different paths. I'm a crossroad guide. When people meet me, they're trying to choose between one path or the other. And there is not a right or a wrong path. There is just, this has different lessons than this. And of course, if you are trying to achieve the things I'm talking about, which is helping yourself heal, trying to contribute to the greater good, then that's where I have a tendency to, I see people's information for that. That's what a crossroads guide is. I have the Eight of Pentacles in reverse, which is a please don't work yourself to death. You're a little bit prone to it. It's also a relaxed energy. Try to relax into your experience and look for your lessons. Don't always strain to try and make progress. And I am famous for that because I have an iron will. I can muscle almost anything into reality. And sometimes I exhaust myself doing so. And can I ever seem to learn the obedient retreat energy? I'm not so great at it, but I'm working on it. I have the Queen of Wands in reverse. That is literally a frustrated energy. It can be also not doing, not engaging, stepping back. There is actual worth in observation of your path and kind of taking personal stock for your personal lessons. Comes out with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. That is a very, very frustrated energy. First week of January looks like you're, well, not a lot to, you're not going to be able to do as much as you want to. And you typically don't deal well with that. Like you're somebody whose frustration level rises as like obstacles mount. Instead of just try, when you feel your stuff getting frustrated, instead of saying, why won't this work? Ask, why won't this work? Because there's always a reason. Divine timing, which I'll be doing a podcast about that as well, is one of the most baffling concepts, but everything comes to us in the time that it is meant to when we are ready for it. And we have false starts on thinking we're ready for things. We just do. I have the Justice card in reverse. That's a call for energetic balance. There's a little bit going on in the legal world and the practical world outside of your personal world as well. That's, I don't go too much into like news and politics here, but there's a little bit of a stirred energy. It's not terrible. It's just a little bit like there's stuff happening in the first couple of weeks. I have the Sun in reverse. These are the darker days. Which means that there's less light in the Western hemisphere. Everything is gaining, meaning we gain a little bit more light every single day. But the Sun in reverse in the hopes and fears is, I beg of you, if you feel like you have depressive energies going on, seek out the ways to mitigate that, meaning whether it's listening to cognitive behavioral therapy, whether it's listening to upbeat music, getting extra exercise, making sure that you don't sit down and watch the saddest movie you ever saw, that kind of thing. And medication is also absolutely in bounds. If you have been suffering from depression and you are unable to cope with negative emotions through any of the management means, then please get some physical help with it, get some medical help with it. That comes out with the Four of Wands in reverse. That is interesting to me because usually for me, that is about a twin flame in separation. Could be moving house though. Page of Wands in the upright. What do we got going here? With the Five of Swords in reverse, which is, sometimes it's a defeated energy, but I don't see it that way. It is like a conflict within coming to an end there. Honest to goodness, it feels like the practical world, the exterior world, draws your attention quite a bit in the first week or two of January. And there's not a lot you can do about it. And you're a little bit in a treading water at first with this unfinished symphony and stuck energy. And then a transformation comes by the end of the month, meaning the way the year starts, which might be a little bit like it's trying to overcome something, by the end of the month, it's blooming into something. I have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. I've got a lot of anxiety energies here. Six of Pentacles in the upright with the Four of Swords in reverse. A financial situation will improve. And it's a little bit like, I almost want to say it comes with momentum behind it, meaning that it's not just a slight improvement. It is like a dawn breaking energy around that. It's also an unfair situation that is being resolved. I have the Two of Swords in the upright. They're not going to tell you anything more about that, so please don't go looking. Why do we get denied information? Because particularly for people who do magic, for people who are able to manifest, or people who can transmute energy, which are healers, sometimes if we get information, we focus too much on it and we start blocking our outcomes. So as you heal, you may actually get less and less information. And in fact, I've been experiencing that with trying to film YouTube reads, because the other day I sat down to do a 2023 read. I got blocked so hard, I gave up within 5 minutes. I was like, you guys win. And I am, as I said, I'm so stubborn, it's ridiculous. And I gave in almost immediately because the cards were emphatically no, 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 no. And the first time it happened that I laid out the cards, I like stopped and yelled at my spirit guides because I'm that person. It came out almost exactly the same way with the exact same patterning around the block. And I was like, you win. Okay, you're not gonna let me do it. And I started to examine why that might be. And it is because as we go on a healing journey, we gain more faith in ourselves. When we have more faith in ourselves, we don't need the minute details. We need the rounder energies, the daily energy versus the hyper-specific occurrences. And that comes out with the Page of Pentacles in the upright. And then that's with the Eight of Cups in reverse. Boy, I have a weird returning energy on something. And it may be somebody from the past. I don't have a romantic vibe with it. It's almost like your former self and your current self find a way to coexist. And you may not have felt that way for a while. It may feel like the person you once were took such a pounding that you don't even really recognize yourself any longer. You will actually reclaim that part of yourself, which may contain trust and wonder and faith. It does require an act of choice, meaning that you understand that you have grown into the person who can protect yourself, and that part of you will now be safe. If you've had disillusioning experiences that damaged your ability to believe in yourself or others, the lesson is not don't believe in anybody, but rather you needed to strike a better balance in having that available appropriately, like 6 steps back for most people. Meaning, as soon as somebody opened a doorway into your life, they may have encountered that wonderful, magical, trusting, almost childlike energy. And as more things went wrong, you may have learned to shut that down, to question people's motives, to be more self-protective. It is not because that is supposed to fade into the background. It is that you're supposed to bring that part of you forward where it will meet the more cautious part of you. So that part of you is available to the truly trustworthy, but people, it's like putting in a waiting room or a vestibule. People have to wait there for a while before they gain access to the inner sanctum. All right, I have the Ace of Swords in reverse. What the heck? Ace of Cups in the upright. With the Eight of Wands in reverse. What are you doing? And then the Chariot in the upright. Yeah, I got a traveler coming in here. For some of you, you're going to be seeing people that you haven't seen in a while. You're going to be hearing from them, particularly as some real world occurrences go on. There is a resolution on something that was upsetting to you that you were able to release. I have a very strong energy about learning good lessons with Page of Wands in the upright and the Page of Pentacles in the upright. Well, there's a lot of new beginnings here. The Six of Pentacles in the upright, I love that because it is this very balanced budget. It is receiving as well. It is give and take in relationships. Work. You try to do too much. You try to do too much at once. You don't take a measured pace with something. Please examine that. You're not being yelled at or scolded, but please examine that. Because some of these energies with this Nine of Pentacles in reverse and this Queen of Wands in reverse, sometimes you feel pretty drained, and it's because you're trying to do everything in one day. Please take a more measured approach to your life. They have been trying to get this message to you since they've been giving you messages. And you try, and maybe for like a week or 10 days, you're like, I'm just going to be chill and I'm going to let things happen as they are meant to happen. And at the end of 10 days where there hasn't been something super significant, you're like, clearly I must put in more effort to make things happen. And that is not actually the way things are meant to work. Everything comes to us. This is the divine timing card in reverse. It is, even though you probably want to yodel like the Swiss Miss and throw stuff at me, it is not quite time for all of the things that are meant to come to you. It is getting there. And what is holding it up? Your inability to take things at a measured pace. They're afraid to make more things happen for you because you will kill yourself trying to make more happen when things start. Because you're afraid every form of success and increase is elusive. Now, like I said, a little bit of like a very paused energy for the first 6-7 days. And then after that, I have kind of a lot of good stuff happening here and a more peaceful energy. It kind of looks like there is something that is shut down that might be disrupted. And that is in an exterior world, like a greater perspective, potentially government or world energy, where like there's this kind of like nail biter and then everything's fine. So please remember that. Everything turns out really well, but it takes a little bit for everything the train to get gone down the right tracks at the very beginning of 2023. But the train actually is in a much better, it's got a much better journey ahead of it. There's far fewer, like, unexpected stops, that kind of thing. Let's get going with the Soul Helpers Oracle. 1 and 2 and 3. All right, what always happens when I start doing this and I'm channeling is that my body temperature goes up quite a bit. Nature is calling you. It wants to touch, fulfill, and protect you with its healing powers. Grounding energy, grounding energy, grounding energy, grounding. You can watch, I've been doing this and I've been sending this to clients like for a solid month. A campfire by a river and a tree gives you access to the energy of all 4 elements. So you can see the air blowing the leaves around. You can see the fire crackling, the water flowing in the background, and the earth is right there. And that helps balance the elements within you. There's chakra balancing, which is your personal energy, which also relies on elements. But for your basic grounding energy, you need to balance the elemental influences within you. What I do exists on a razor's edge because I have to have access to all 4 elements in order to do this. That's why my 4 piles are based in the elements, is we have a different ruling element each month. What I do, I have to be able to, like I said, be in the center of that. And a lot of channelers do as well. The way to do that is grounding, where you give yourself access to the energy of all 4 elements. Let's see what we've got from the Soul Explorer Oracle. I have so many of them, I just forget at this point. 1, 2, it's either Soul Destiny or the Soul Explorer. The soul's in there somewhere. All right, 2 cards fell out. Indecision, Crossroads, with self-esteem. Hey, I guess maybe you don't think of it this way when you are a little bit prone to overwork, is that's not actually treating yourself lovingly. It's not actually treating yourself kindly. You're not a workhorse. You're not just here to do. You're here to see. You are here to have fun. You're here to experience. And if you're saying, I have a lot of obligations and I need money to eat, make sure that's like the real energy, meaning you're not staring at a bunch of savings going, I can never touch that because that's savings. That's one of the pitfalls of our particular society, is that we overvalue money and we undervalue people and experience. Please, please, please have a broader experience that is part of self-esteem, which is related to self-love. If you truly like yourself, then you want to have a broader experience, even if it comes at, even if you're doing things even if it's doing things that are telling you that you're breaking societal rules that are dangerous. Every now and then you have to decide to take a risk in order to increase your personal happiness. You are worth that. Now, I'm not talking about like, hey, I have $37 and I'm going to spend 36 of them because I'm having an experience. That's not what I mean. You don't have to imperil yourself, but do not value your safety over your happiness, because I have bad news for you. Safety is an illusion. This is not actually a safe experience. Being alive, nobody gets out of it alive. That does not mean you're constantly in danger, but you need to strike a balance between seeking security and safety and hiding from experience through safety and security. And I'm very guilty of that. I'm a Taurus. And there's almost nothing that a Taurus likes better than a good, secure place with a lovely bed. And it's the most stereotypical thing about me. Other than that, I'm really not that stereotypical of Taurus. But I have to remind myself that a life well lived is the point of this existence, and that having true self-esteem is believing that I can figure out what I need to as I need to, and that my back will only ever be against the wall if I do not have that faith in myself. I have Angel. Your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. Having a broader life experience is actually part of your spiritual journey. You may be very focused on your monetary success or your professional success and how you're viewed by others. Your spirit guides, your angels, the guiding team behind you, wants you to have a broader experience emotionally, energetically. Their idea of success is not a bank account number. It is, are you in the resonant joy of the simple act of being alive that will have variation in it, that will have sad days as well as glad days. And why is that? Negative emotions are our friends because they teach us about how to protect ourselves, what's bothering us, what we need to heal, where we would wish to improve, because we all have areas we're trying to improve. You're perfectly lovable as you are, but you're probably working on stuff. Everybody is. Nobody's done. The whole time that we're here, we're still working on stuff, because this is an animating experience and we are animated in it. We have wish. Your heart's desire is ready to come true. Boy, you have a lot of like, are you ever going to believe that everything is coming to you? And the answer is 100% everything is coming to you. It's just that your idea of everything involves monetary success. That's not everything. That's part of everything. And they would like you to have that as well, but because you focus exclusively on it, they have to slow things down, because it's the only thing that will force you to stop and enjoy things, is when you have nothing else to do. Because you can be a little bit of a demon about creating stuff to do, because it's how you expel your anxious energy. And one of the easiest ways to do that, to solve this frustrated energy, is to work more on grounding, to have a spiritual practice that fits you. And it may not look like anybody else's. I literally never sit in a lotus position meditating. That is not how I meditate. I have a bunch of different ways that I meditate. One of them involves weightlifting. I genuinely am in a very, because I want, trust me, I'm very far back in my head when I'm trying to weightlift, because it's rarely a truly physically pleasant experience. And so I am concentrating on not concentrating on what's happening to me, which makes me super kind of receptive on that. Seduction, passion, and romance awaits. Passion is the enjoyment of life, which you have struggled with. And that is not your fault, and it's not a judgment. If you've been having the poo kicked out of you since you can possibly remember, how can you enjoy your experience? By really taking stock of, is it as bad as it used to be? Are things improving? Am I choosing to look at every moment to find that which will make me happy? Because some things get like condensed into small statements that almost become offensive because they are not in any way fleshed out. Happiness does come from within, but that does not mean that you will never be made unhappy by your circumstances. Death, grief, loss, job loss, all of the things that can come along and cause dysphoric reactions are very, very real. And how do you choose to be happy when your world is blowing up? Sometimes you don't. Despair is an opportunity to learn about your strengths and your ability to overcome. But past a certain point, when things are no longer going wrong, we get into the energy where we have to choose to start taking stock of, well, what's good? What's good at this particular moment? What should I draw my attention to so that I can live in that energy? Name 5 things that you really like in your environment. Start listening to music that you like. Go ahead and, make a meal that you enjoy. Happiness involves your personal investment in finding it. And we never truly find it in another person, because all of our emotions come from within us. Meaning, if you've met somebody and they just make you so happy, it's actually the happiness within you that you are reacting to this catalyst outside of you. And sometimes we have to seek the catalyst. And it's not in the form of another person. It is finding the way to spark that feeling within us. And I have the oracle: seek wisdom and guidance from elders with the siren. A temptation may lead you astray. Make sure that people, places, and opportunities actually really fit you. I'm going to take a really close look to see if I'm missing anything else before I start moving on to my other oracle cards. Good secure energy, good progress and work towards the end of the month. Some frustrating interactions. Like I said, looks like somebody's coming back. You might have to deal with them. You are like the effortlessness. You just sometimes don't recognize how good you've gotten at. You're a little blocked out on seeing how much progress you've actually made. And one of the tricks to do that is remember yourself this time last year or the year before that, and remember how you felt and what you thought about things. And if you're like, hey, I was a lot more hopeful then, was that hope because you thought things would instantaneously turn out? Look for the ways in which you have been strengthened. You have deepened your connection to self and to others and to the divine. And that is another form of hope. Meaning, getting what we want is actually not something that will make us happy for very long, because we will become accustomed to it pretty quickly. If the happiness is not in our state of being, there's nothing that we can acquire that will make us lastingly happy. Please remember that. That's why we always get hammered on to be like, happiness is a choice, happiness is within, nobody else could ever make you happy. You can, in fact, be made happy by the company of another person, but the happiness is within you and is being woken up. And the goal in a spiritual and a healing journey is to find how to access that joy, that happiness, that resonant connection in other moments of life, not having it be dependent on getting what we want or having another person there, the job, the title, the accolades, or the recognition. Happiness truly begins within, and some other people can increase it and some circumstances can increase it, but it is a state of being that we choose to go towards. It is not something that is delivered to your front doorstep or brought to you by another person. It is something that you try to find within you to encourage, to flourish, to grow. All right, let's go. All right, let's go with the Infinity Oracle here. What do we got? What do we got for this? What do we got for January 2023? It's a good month, a little bit like a one foot after the other energy, but like you start to see like the blooms on flowers in your gardens, basically. If the garden you've been tending all throughout 2022, where you're like, is this thing ever going to grow anything? You're starting to see that. You start to see the fruits of your labor. The thing that they're cautioning you about, and I'm only laughing because I'm so guilty of this too, is that please don't then make your life exclusively about trying to make things bloom. Stop, rest, appreciate, live this life as if every single moment of it contains something very valuable to you, because it does. It really does. We have closure. Well, I've kind of got that with something from the past, quite frankly. And it's in multiple areas. It's both in your personal energy and in the greater perspective, like the peripheral areas. There is something that is definitively ending in a good way that makes things more possible. 1 and 2 and 3. And you're resolved on like a connection that wasn't serving you. Like you see it very differently. Karmic lesson. Yeah, closure, karmic lesson. Karmic lessons are about helping us heal. It's not punishment. It's not rewards. They are lessons. And most of, like, if you're in my collective, the lessons that you came here to learn were about getting closer and closer to your divine source, to your highest self, to inhabiting love and compassion and humor. Because I deal with so many dark energies. Humor is very, 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 very important because it's an uplifting energy. It's a higher vibrational energy. You're trying to get towards a higher vibration. You're trying to evolve if you're in my collective. Dark night of the soul, spiritual awakening, and apology. Well, for some of you, even though I don't quite have that on the table here, I have contact with the pages, which is the start of something new. For some of you, you are receiving an apology from somebody who has resisted the idea that they ever wronged you. I always have allergies. I'm allergic to Oscar, guys, very mildly. I didn't know. And what can I do? He's my dog. He's not going anywhere. But I have a mild allergy to Oscar, and he has a giant dog bed right off to the side. Let's get your love cards. The closure, spiritual awakening, dark night of soul. It's like somebody in your life comes back into your life because they've had time to like really soul search and be like, oh, well, that's on me. And it's a little out of character for them. It's a little out of character for them. You don't have to accept them back into your life. You just really, really don't. Please keep that in mind. Like, even if somebody comes back and is like, I'm so sorry, I don't know why I screwed that up so deeply. I was in my own head. I was struggling with addiction or whatever it might be. That doesn't mean that they have a place at your table. It just means that you can resolve how you feel about that particular set of circumstances. People are meant to come and go. Does that mean that I see somebody going, no, I have somebody coming back, and you being at that indecision, that crossroads energy about where do I take this next? There is no right or wrong. There is simply your answer, and it will come to you. Different pages. You and this person don't share the same vision. Children, interesting. Acceptance, stability, obsession, and retreat. Friendship. That really does sound like somebody's coming on back because you wanted, somebody in this connection wanted something that was not available at that particular time. It may be because like you were, there's something called trauma OCD, which is about people with CPTSD and PTSD quite frequently slip into obsessive compulsive disorder seeking safety, where you engage in safety seeking patterns. And that can happen as well. Unfortunately, the obsessive energy of that can cause you to like kind of lose control over certain behaviors. And it's being triggered. That's what it is. It's about being triggered. Triggered as a word has entered like the cultural lexicon for being mildly upset by something somebody said. That is not what triggered is. Being triggered is accessed emotions from the past come to the fore, and you feel like you're in the past again, where you may have been safe, less than safe, where you had been being terrorized, where it wakes up an echo of an old energy, of an old emotion that needs to be healed. It isn't the same thing as being like, I don't like what you said, so now I'm mad, which is how they're using it right now. We'll get a different word eventually, I suppose. But this is something about how somebody pulled back from your life as you healed. Do they belong in your life? I don't know. It's going to be very, very, very individual. Remember, we're in a collective. We have repeating energy signatures that we all live out, but we have our individual answers. Chariot. That really is a traveler, man. Okay, well, for some people, it's going to be somebody with the astrological sign Cancer, which is the Chariot card. I don't have any real other energies. My Justice card, which is the Libra card, is in reverse. Please ground more than you do. Every time that you're challenged, just like take 15 minutes before you go to bed and do some balancing activities. You'll just feel so much better. You'll sleep better as well. This is a good energy. It is a gaining energy. It is like your investments are paying off energy, but it's also, they are just the thing that they're kind of hopping up and down about at this particular point in time is that if you're wondering why everything takes so blessedly long, it is because you lose perspective and therefore you lose balance. Whenever something starts happening in any area of your life, it's romantic or professional or any friendships, you focus only on one area of your life. And you're like a car that is trying to drive on one wheel. And it pulls everything off. And so that's why you get so many, please have good perspective. Please have good balance. Please have robust self-care practices. And please remember, the land of milk and honey, everything really is coming to you with this okay to say no energy. Please remember that part as well, because since I have and it's based in that fear-based energy of OCD, of like trying to find safety through excessive use of energy in one area of your life. It's okay to say no, even if wonderful things are happening. If you're like, I have to turn down an opportunity because I simply don't have time to do it, or I'm not well enough, or I'm not energetic enough. Please remember that means it wasn't really for you. And we will actually get tested on those type of things as well. Let's get a wellness card, then we're going to move on to the romance cards. Now, I did just use the messages of love, which was about closure and apology and friendship and all kinds of stuff. But we have other romance cards, so don't worry. It doesn't mean you're excluded from romance. 1, 2, 3. If that is what your bag is and what you're interested in. And at different points, we have different focuses. If that's an area of your life that has not perhaps yielded the best results for you, it is perfectly normal to withdraw a little bit and be like, well, what else could make me happy? Because maybe I am putting a little bit too much weight on this area of my life. Now, does that mean that you should never have relationships again? Again, that is incredibly individual. Please don't make your decision based in fear, because that's limiting. Base it in what makes you truly happy and gives you resonant joy. And if you're like, you know what, I wasn't super happy when I was in relationships, I'm a really happy person being single, that's cool. That's cool. Remember, the universe will bring you the opportunities that are meant for you. I'm ambitious. In a world where possibilities are endless, I can do anything I set my mind to. Power and ambition courses through my veins. When I intentionally reach toward my dreams will meet me with open arms. I really want to, boundaries. It was next, because what I was going to say after that is, please remember, do not invest all of your energy in one area of your life, because that is the easiest thing to crush your world. If your relationship is absolutely everything, wow, that relationship has a lot of power over you. If your professional life has everything to you, wow, your professional life has a lot of power over you. Make sure you diversify your focus in order to diversify your ability to be happy. Boundaries, healthy boundaries keep my energy safe and allow me to live as my truest self. I deserve people in my life who love me and care about my limits and comforts, so those who respect my boundaries will receive my time. People who have not treated you properly in the 3D do not belong in your life unless they have a really good explanation and are working on things, that they recognize they're fully accountable and they're working on things. If somebody who has been absent from your life and treated you as if you were unimportant returns to your life, and they do not attempt to in any way acknowledge, wow, I didn't treat you right, maybe give some thought to whether or not that person, because they haven't changed. And in order for you to get a different result from them, they need to have changed. Only accept the worthy into your life and you'll be much happier. Our unhappiness often comes from trying to invest our personal energy with people who are on a different path or in a different vibration or at a different healing stage. I'm always telling my clients, partners are not projects. Please don't expect somebody to heal to get up to the level that you're on. Let them do their healing and you can still be connected. You can still be friends, but it's very hard to truly enmesh your energy or marry your energy to somebody who is not in the same vibration. So just be careful with that. Just be careful with that. 1 and 2 and 3. I guess what I'm saying is if somebody shows back up in your life and they did you dirty and they don't apologize, maybe show them the door. Because they're taking it for granted that, you know, backstabbing you, hurting you, lying to you, potentially robbing you is part of what you will accept and still allow them back in. You have to let people know, I will never be okay with that, because people will rise to the level of our expectation or be shown the door. And that is really where the friendships and the personal relationships need to be. Sunglasses, watching, looking, stalking, gaslighting, perception, focusing out. Our happiness comes from within when we're looking to exterior sources for happiness. It can happen, but we need to have already nurtured happiness within so that if it doesn't work out, the disappointment does not crush us and put out our light. Paradise, happiness, expansion, joy, playfulness, oneness, enjoying each other. And then the butterfly, that's a transformational energy. Relationship evolving into the next phase, healing the inner child and growth with love call. Someone expresses love, a message of love, thinking of you and letting you know. All right, pile number 1. Boy, do I ever have a little bit like something's changing in your life and your personal relationships. Please make sure the connections in your life truly serve you. If you've done all this work, please don't go backwards because you'll just end up having to do it again. All right, here we go. Remember, until we repair it, we will repeat it. Let's get a romance angel. 1 and 2. All right, you. Oh, reconciliation. Somebody from your past is returning. All right, group number 1. If you did not get that as the main message of this month, then you should probably pay attention to it as the main message of this month. Things from the past are returning so that you can sort out whether or not they truly, it's retrograde. The retrograde ends on, I believe, the 18th, Mercury retrograde. Things from the past return. We're allowed to seek closure from without and within. Retrograde is not necessarily a bad thing. We all treat it like, oh no, but it does bring us opportunities to resolve and release old energies. Try to, like, it's inevitable, so try to work it for the positives rather than resist it, because it's inevitable. We have encouragement. This is a card of remembering that you have spiritual protection. You're never truly alone. Now, that can be an empty thing to hear when you're like, but I'm facing this 3D world all by myself, and I feel very, very alone. They know that part. They give you these cards to remind you that even if it feels that way, you are connected to a part of yourself that is connected to divine source. And then you are connected to your guides, to your ancestors, to anything that you call towards you to assist you in your journey. If you feel alone, reach out in the ways that you can, both in the 3D and in the other dimensions, so that you can feel that connection, that comfort, and that soul level connection. Magical map shifter, somebody who changes everything basically, and rescue. All right, rescue is a very self-explanatory. Somebody's coming along, changing everything, things will get better. That is in your professional world and in your personal world. There are like returning energies and new energies as well. You deplete yourself. You deplete yourself. That's what that Queen of Wands and that 9 of Pentacles in reverse is about. Don't deplete yourself chasing a dream. Okay. And it's not because you won't catch the dream. It's because you won't enjoy it when it fully manifests. To really enjoy our lives, we have to be energetically recharged, and living our life in multiple areas, not just focusing on one. I have third chakra, Archangel Chamuel, which really wanted out, which is about personal power. It's your solar plexus chakra, which is a manifesting energy as well. Walking away, a man holding a coin, traveling energy, door to spirit. Archangel Gabriel, which is the archangel I'm attached to, who's the bringer of truth and epiphanies, the guardian of the spirit of air. Well, I have this man holding a coin energy. This can be a business energy. Somebody had all that traveling energy as well. You have a connection that is walking in one door, and it is really going to be up to you whether or not you then show it the door again. There is no right or wrong answer. There is simply your answer. That is throat chakra. Communicate your needs. And once again, if somebody comes back and they try to like act like nothing happened and something very much happened, don't let them get away with that, because that is, we really do. Boundaries are about declaring the treatment that we will allow in our lives. All right, let's check your angel answer card and your cookie card, and then we're going to move on to the next pile. I have recovery. And then I have, tough and trying times. Tough and trying times ahead. Think long-term and make decisions accordingly. Avoid negative people at all costs. I get this more from the practical world. Like I said, there's like a weird, like discombobulated but not destructive energy at the very beginning of January. And then the tough and trying times, remember, those are the things that give great value to our great times. Meaning if everything was always hunky-dory and idyllic, then it would just become the norm, and we'd be dissatisfied because we're always trying to find something that is an elating experience. And in order for something to truly inhabit that euphoric experience, that jubilant experience, sometimes we kind of have to walk through the dark times as well. All right, let's move on to pile number 2. That was pile number 1. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be editing in timestamps after the broadcast. There we go. We've got the Tarot of the Divine bringing you your predictive spread. Let me get your cookie card and your angel answer out. The premise behind this is if you have an area of your life or question that you have that I don't answer in this reading, the angel card will hopefully help you out with that. Tarot of the Divine, love it, bringing you a predictive spread in that extended Celtic cross that I use. Let's get going with your Making Magic card. I take these cards out, and every single time I'm like, I better not get that, summoning fairies. Don't summon fairies, man. You don't understand them. They can kick your butt. All right, Earth. Ask the element of Earth for grounding, stability, strength in time of chaos. Slightly chaotic energy. Again, Mercury retrograde. Things don't work as well. People from the past return. Not a great time to sign contracts. Listen to the messages of your dreams is the Enchanted Art Oracle. Let's see where this goes. Focus. All right, so our energy and our intent goes to where we choose it. In magic, we're always trying to focus our particular energy to achieve a particular result. If you are dwelling, if you're depressed, if you're anxious, if you're sad, if you're happy, it is because you are focusing your energy. And if you don't like where your focus has you right now, please consider changing your focus. And it can really be that simple. It's like, this area of my life is driving me crazy, or I have been depressed so much, I'm so tired of crying. Try watching comedy, try calling a friend, we need to participate in our own healing, basically. And your focus is also telling you, there's a lot of practical world energy on this one. Like there's just a lot of, like, I kind of want to say exerted energy in the 3D. Let's see what else comes out here. Breathe. The tribe. So breathe is, again, that kind of like you can't build Rome in one day type of energy. It's also the exchange of energy, that because half of meditation is like counting our breaths and observing it as it goes through our lungs and things. And what is that really about? It's about exchanging negative energy for positive energy. We are asking the, prana, the energy of life, to come into our bodies as we expel the stale and the old energies that are no longer serving us. And make sure that you do that. Even if you don't like to meditate, sit there, and I call them training wheel meditation exercises, where you count the inhale and the exhale as one. So inhale 1, exhale 1, and you go up to 10 and you do it over and over again. I suggest people start with doing it 5 times. You will actually lose track and find yourself being like, inhale 22, exhale, hey, wait, you just start over again. And that is actually a really good thing, because it means that you are doing something automatically, which makes your mind very receptive, because you're not intellectually engaged in it. You are doing it by rote, which creates a state of receptivity, which allows you to receive messages. Teacher. Fragmented energy and the teacher. Hey, first pile got stuck energy as well. Fragmented energy and then teacher. Fragmented energy can be that retrograde energy, meaning that you need to balance, you need to make yourself whole. Chakra balancing. I was talking in the first pile about grounding as well. Find your grounding practice. It can be exercising, it can be cleaning, it can be listening to chakra balancing, or watching nature videos, or participating in nature. It's the winter in the Western Hemisphere, so that's why I mention videos so much. Please remember, you don't need to be physically proximate to a tree to feel the energy of a tree. Just go watch a beautiful video first. I love YouTube. I think YouTube is absolutely awesome, because whatever you need, it's here. Go looking for it. Type into the search engine. I watch train journeys all the time from the cab view. So cab views where I don't see people or seats or anything. I'm seeing what the train conductor would see. And like, I've been through Montenegro and a couple of other places where I just sit and I watch the scenery, because I like to, in the practical world, I love being on trains. But it's not something I can do to relax very easily, because it's traveling from one point to another. And in my bedroom, I can just turn on my TV and sit there. And like, I've been to Spain, I've been to Japan, I've been to Switzerland a lot. Switzerland is startlingly beautiful. God is the archetype card. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force within yourself and others. Hey, when I say God, ditch the idea of the God of the Bible. We're talking about the divine, which every religion that has tried to put a name to God is doing so through inspired individuals. And often they are channeling information, but then a power structure takes over and tries to make the rules that will govern us, control us, and quite frequently make us pay money or have babies in order to create workers. And religions do these things. And we have a tendency to, when we hear the word God, equate it with the idea of religion. They're not interchangeable concepts. The divine is the divine, and the religion is a man-made power structure seeking to utilize the power of the divine. If you do not like the idea of God, what you're really reacting to is the idea of religion, because men have misused it for their own aims. Set that aside and try and find a connection to source, the divine source, because it has your higher aspect, and your life will improve tremendously when you go towards your higher aspect, because it contains your love, your joy, your elation. Everything in a higher vibration is in your higher source. And that is why choosing to be the best version of yourself that you can be almost always makes a person instantaneously happier. If you get up in the morning, you're like, everything sucks, everything's been painful forever. And that might be the truth. I'm not mocking it. My gosh, my life has been a minefield sometimes. So it's been me sometimes. The easiest way to start changing how you feel about your life is changing the way you approach it. Every single person that you encounter, smile, say hello, be kind. If you are kind, you immediately change the energy that you are living in. Kindness, compassion, and love can save you from all manner of darkness. And it may not be returned to you, but it will be within you, and it will be what you feel, and it will be what you inhabit. And it also has an impact on others, meaning people have a tendency to match our energy. You will start having a better experience when you try to approach the world with an open heart. And it's not always safe. You have to have good boundaries on that. When you encounter people who will not respect your space, and you throw up your boundaries and you don't let them pollute you, but you go forward in that energy of trying to be connected to the best version of yourself that you can be. Your psychic gifts will get better. The way you feel, your dream world, absolutely everything will get better when you simply reach for the best version of yourself. And it won't be perfect. And sometimes you will backslide, and you will just have to observe that and be like, well, I'm still trying. And that was not my best moment, but I'm going to keep trying. And that's as simple. That's what it takes to heal. That's what it takes to heal. I just read you already. That was the God one. And then I have networker. Light attributes enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy, but the shadow attribute is conveys information only for personal gains, spreads for fear and falsehood. Everybody has different answers. There's something I'm always trying to get people to understand. There is no one right answer. We are individuals. We are unique. We have our own answers. Find your answers. And your answers might not look like my answers. And like, if you're in my collective, you're going to have similar answers. These are the things that will make you feel better. Enhances unity through the sharing of information. Learn about what can make you feel more purposeful in this life if you want to feel happier, because the act of trying to make things better makes things better for you too. It will give you hope. It will be expansive, and it will create more love in your life. All right, here we go. We got the sacred traveler ascending the mountain. Keep going forward. Sometimes that's the most challenging thing in the world. Just keep going. Just keep going. It's like, how long is this going to last? Well, it's divine timing. And like, people scream in unison because divine timing is a maddening concept. I will be doing a podcast on that. I won't go into it too much here. By the way, plug in my podcast, Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica, available currently on iHeartRadio and a couple of other platforms. Will be up on iTunes and Google within a week, I believe. Focus on success with keep going forward. Kind of looks like a lot's happening for you in the practical world with that teacher energy. That's like mastering. That's the mastering energy of that fragmented energy. Oh, energetic management is something that you can always choose by tapping into source through meditation. So we've got breathe, God, fragmented energy, teacher. Enjoy all the things that you have learned to have a better life experience. And remember, it's a practice. It's like flossing your teeth. Don't neglect it. Don't neglect it. If it works for you, please examine why you find meditation boring, because the way you're doing it may not be suited to you. Some people meditate best while drawing. Some people meditate best while washing dishes. Honest to goodness, there's an answer for everybody, and not everybody has the same answer. Some of us have similar answers. Clearly, I put forward information for people who have similar answers, and things will work for them. Let's get on with the Tarot of the Divine for the predictive spread for January 2023, 2022, the year of perseverance. Just keep trying, just keep going. And then the focus on success with keep going forward. And the networker, it's like connections are coming out of the woodworks for you. Whatever it is you're trying to achieve, boy, are they trying to encourage you. Focus. I've got multiple focus cards. Do some manifestation work as well. And that can be envisioning things, that can be writing about them, it can be doing spell work. It can honestly be, one of the things I tell my clients constantly is, please don't forget the worth of hearing yourself when it comes to how you feel and what you're trying to accomplish. Record yourself on voice memos sometimes and play it back to yourself. One of the biggest roles of therapy is hearing what we say to another person. You can, if you don't have access to a therapist, or you need more help than that, or you're trying to work yourself out of a funk, listening to it helps. Listening to it helps because it acknowledges, validates, and also releases that energy. Eight of Cups in reverse. That's a returning energy with the Queen of Pentacles in the upright. I have the Four of Swords in the upright. That's a pause, meditative, breathe deep and rest easy energy. This is one of the least restive Four of Swords I've ever seen. Like, really, it's like got a wolf and four swords, and like, oh my goodness. And the wolf is chewing on one of the swords. It's not a typical Four of Swords. They're usually all like, somebody's like, it's almost always set like in sometimes a tomb, because it's about resting and being peaceful. Ace of Cups in the upright. Start something new, emotionally fulfilling. That is the Holy Grail card as well. The God's card of your cup runneth over. Chariot in reverse. Boy, I've got a lot of things coming back to you, energies. Why do I flinch when I do things like that? Because when we're on a healing journey and things from the past return, it is one of the things where we have to dig deep, find our process, and adhere to it. And so that's why I flinch like that, because it's remembering while you are potentially upset or triggered or, kind of going through it, that like, hey, I know how to handle this. I have my process. I know what to do. And when you're in this kind of stirred up energy, it can be very difficult to choose. here it is saying with the Page of Cups, something's returning into your life is going to make you much happier. The Page of Cups is sometimes a flirtation, sometimes a romantic offer. It's an emotionally pleasing start to something. I have that with the Five of Pentacles in the upright, which can be anxiety. It can be like a temporary state of like not having enough cash. It can be isolation. It can be injury as well. Five of Wands in reverse. I'm not worried about it here because I just got 5-5. 5 in the upright, 5 in reverse. When we get that, it's called a download code. And what is a download code? It is one where you're accessing universal energy that is seeking to expand a particular area of our consciousness. Fives are related to change. It is as if you have become very comfortable with the ever-changing nature of life. Life is meant to change. We cannot grow if we will not change. Make change a friend. One of the most distressing things that I hear on a regular basis from people is, I hate change. It's like, oh, this is going to be hard on you. Because in order for you to get better, you have to be able to change. Embrace change as the thing that it might clear the deck first, but then it rearranges the new furniture in a more pleasing fashion. Allow change to come into your life, knowing that it will bring new things, new opportunities, new people, new experiences, new sensations, and you will always learn something from them. Approach your life as a giant classroom, and you are an invested and an interested student, and your experience will improve almost immediately. Lovers in the upright is the Gemini card, the card of personal choices. It can be soulmates as well. That comes out with the World in the upright, complete cycles. It's one of the karmic cards. It's also good fortune, success, and having it all. I like the World as a card. And this particular one has 2 people embraced on it and dancing. The High Priestess in reverse, which is clarity, things being revealed, things coming to light, being able to grasp the truth easily and to see through subterfuge very easily. With the Magician in the upright, you have multiple cards of teacher, focus, and the Magician. The Magician is a master manifester who has sway over all of reality because the Magician commands all 4 elements. In pile number 1, I was talking about how what I do balances on essentially a pin because it utilizes all 4 elements. The best magic has control over all 4 elements. And how do you do that? How do you keep in that very balanced state? It is constant. It is constant. It is as constant as eating or washing to maintain yourself. You're just maintaining yourself on an energetic and internal balance. But my goodness, that is some stuff happening there. It's going to be very, very clear. I don't think you're getting a bunch of spoilers on it. Particularly at the beginning of the month, do a little bit of work with envisioning how you wish this month to go and this year to go, and basically this path, and ask the universe and the divine to bring you that which is right for you, because that really is the best way to shorten a learning path. When we insist that we know what we want, I will tell you super, super honestly, when I started this channel, what I wanted out of life, what I wanted out of everything, vastly different than what I want now. Vastly. My idea of success is a completely different like ball of wax and a better one, I think. And what I wish to do is different. Everything that I thought I wanted at that particular time, I can now recognize belonged to a former version of myself that needed to grow and to heal and to approach life more confidently. My idea of success is far, far, far more relaxed. And why am I sharing that? Because the thing that you want that won't come to you, even if you don't believe it right now, accept that there is a possibility that as you grow and you change, you will heal, and your desires and your wants and your focus will go to a different area of your life very, very naturally. What we want when we're not healed is different than what we want when we're healed, because what we want when we're not healed is painkillers. And what we want when we're healed are experiences. All right. 10 of Pentacles in reverse from that 5 of Wands. As I'm always sharing, I'm mildly allergic to my big dog, Oscar. And so that is why I constantly have to wipe my nose. It's fun. He's a wonderful dog, though, and there's just like nothing I can do about it. I'm not allergic to all dogs. He's just got a particular type of dander, I suppose. 10 of Pentacles in reverse can be like, that's that retrograde energy. Things not working super well. Confusion sometimes. What have I got in confusion over here? Focus on ascending the mountain, fragmented energy. That's a good card for fragmented energy. 2 swords in reverse is basically the High Priestess in reverse, which is clarity. Your answers will come to you easily if you focus on them and try to bring them towards you. Meaning that if you're watching this and you're like, no, I don't meditate regularly, no matter how that looks for me, please find a way to. And that is taking yourself out of the rhythm of your life and pausing in whatever way that you can. Some people meditate sitting on a bench looking at a tree, and that's as valid as sitting in a meditation room staring at a chakra chart while listening to chants. Honest to goodness, meditation is not one size fits all. Nothing is one size fits all because we are all different. We are a diverse, we're here to have a experience, but we're very, very diverse beings in it. Collectives will have similar needs, and that's why being in a collective, you will receive advice that is more suited to your energetic signature or vibration. 3 of Cups in reverse. Well, that's a relying on self, a self-love energy as well. It can be a slight isolated energy. Actually, I've got a little bit of isolation around this. Nothing untoward, doesn't look like there's a lockdown or anything like that. In fact, that 10 of Pentacles in reverse suggests very much the opposite of that. It's like you don't allow people in very far. If you've decided that you're here to walk this path alone and that you're like some kind of alien observer, you're not. You just may have had to be a little bit isolated as you healed. 5 of Pentacles can also be isolation. 6 of Wands in reverse. If I get any more returning energies, 3 of Pentacles in the upright. I guess I'll talk about it more is what I'll do. 3 of Pentacles in the upright is collaborative efforts, working with others. Ace of Wands in reverse as well. Boy, just like the other group, this fragmented energy focus on success. Please don't solely define success by bank accounts and by achievements. Success is being happy. Success is being peaceful. Success is finding worth in your existence. And I'm so guilty of this, and it's part of the reason I hit that nail so hard with my personal hammer, is that I will work myself until I drop. I have a to-do list that like most people, it never quite ends. And like, I have to constantly keep myself on a leash around, like, don't try and do it all at once. You can't, and you'll just hurt yourself. And I have to consciously remind myself of that, because my base setting is go and do until you drop. And once you've dropped, once you've rested, you'll get up and then you'll go. And that's no way to live life. It genuinely, life is meant to be lived at varied speeds, not just in an accelerated mode. What are you? 3 of Wands in reverse with that 3 of Cups in reverse. That can be like open relationships and many opportunities and choosing from them. 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Boy, that's clarifying my lovers too. With the 9 of Cups in reverse, which is a disappointed energy sometimes. It can be a delayed wish being fulfilled. Again, these 3 cards clarifying the hopes and fears. With the 10 of Cups in reverse, with that Chariot in reverse. Almost a little bit like some family member coming back into your life. Retrograde brings people from the past back, so I better just kind of relax into the energy of everybody's got something returning to be dealt with, to be released, or to be retained. And it's always going to be a very individual thing. Let's take a look at the practical world. Good times with friends, a lot of remote stuff. It looks like you're chatting back and forth a lot. Your tendency towards turning down invitations, please make sure it's actually serving you. That fragmented energy, like you don't like to, you just like to focus on one thing at a time, and whereas that is good, like you want to exclusively focus on one thing, and it causes this frustration because things move at the pace they are meant to rather than the pace that we are demanding. Focus, 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 focus. Keep going forward. In all areas of your life, you keep trying to settle into something. You're like, and here I shall stay and everything will grow from here. You will be ever expanding and growing throughout the course of your life. More people are trying to come into your life, and you filter out connection just a little bit too much from a fearful place, because the 5 of Pentacles is a little bit about fear. Other people are not perilous. They're only perilous when we don't have good boundaries and aren't able to separate ourselves from people who are not on the same energy wavelength or the same vibration. Trust yourself a little bit more. Trust yourself a little bit more. This is a little bit weird because it's like it's almost like watching a repeat of an episode of a television show you know really, really well. Only the script's going to change halfway through. That's the repeating energy that I have. Like, oh, I've seen this before. The point is to have a different outcome. When something keeps happening, the reason it is until you repair it, you will repeat it. Something is being brought back to you so you can heal it, which almost always involves a different approach to something and a different view. Every time something returns to you, take a different perspective on it. We have re-energized in the natural world. I think the first group got this as well. It's a grounding energy, ground. Why is that so important in retrograde? Retrograde has a tendency to just muff up energies. And so grounding is one of the things that can cause, I kind of just want to say, current to flow through you more effectively. If Mercury retrograde has a tendency to fry our motherboard, grounding has a tendency to reconnect it. There we go. Let's get this out of the way. We're going to go to I can't remember it anymore, Soul Explorer, Soul's Destiny. I have too many cards, but I love them all. It's just this particular deck, like I nickname things. And so this particular deck is like what now deck to me, because a lot of the cards are like a little tough to take sometimes. So what now? Let's see, what are the energies that we're facing here? One. Hope everybody has a beautiful new year. I hope everybody had a lovely festive season, no matter what you celebrate or don't celebrate. It was just, I live in Southern California, so it was like 77 degrees on Christmas. And since there was a tremendous blizzard, I hope everybody is okay in the United States and elsewhere. But there was a tremendous blizzard on the East Coast. I hope everyone that you love and care about is safe and sound, and everybody just in general. But I was particularly grateful for practically kissing the ground on Christmas Day, because it's like, sometimes I think I miss snow, and no, I don't, not at that level. Abundance. I am a limitless being, and I can manifest whatever I desire in this physical reality. Abundance is not just stuff, and it's not just money. It is joy. It is happiness. It is connection. It is things prospering and being very full with gratitude and trust. File number 2, the What Now deck was just like, what now? We love you. Abundance, gratitude, and trust. Please trust that abundance will soon be yours as well. And being grateful, listen, sometimes when life has just been kicking the crap out of you, being grateful is like, what am I supposed to be grateful for? That I still have crap that you could kick out of me? What in the world? The grateful part is there is almost always something. You can be grateful that you had enough to eat that day, because believe it or not, not everybody does. And we don't give that much weight. When we have enough, when others don't, we don't think of it as that is us being blessed. But that person who doesn't have enough, I'm always very aware that my life looks like a Disneyland playland to a lot of people. Now, is it? No, it's actually been very, very hard road sometimes, but I'm still incredibly fortunate and incredibly blessed. And I, every time that I stop and I start enumerating all of the things for which I am grateful, whether it's a beautiful day on Christmas Day where I'm watching hummingbirds off of my balcony, every single time I do that, I am more joyfully embracing my life. That's what gratitude does for us. It's not about trying to be like, okay, well, I'll just ignore the fact that I lost my left arm in a terrible car crash or something. It's not about denying the challenges you have faced, but it is about accepting into your heart the possibility that even if things have gone wrong, there are still things that with which you are tremendously blessed that can help heal those wounds. And there are some people who their blessings are very, very scant indeed. And if you are one of those people, I wish you healing and hope and happiness and abundance and more blessings. But if you are not somebody who is on your last legs and living in your car, please give thanks for that, because not everybody has it. We all have challenges. Find your blessings so that you can feel better. It's not about being scolded. It's about loving the life that you have. Let's get a fortune reading card. We'll get an Endora fortune reading card as well. 1, 2. Let's go, 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 go. 3. I have no idea what time it is right now. 1, 2, 3, and 4. I'm a little overscheduled sometimes. All right, here we go. I have Moon. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently. And then I have Love. Love surrounds all your connections. Move forward positively in all areas of your life. Love is not just a romantic concept. Love is love of others, love of self, love of, like, one of the things that can make my heart just overflow with love is sitting down and cuddling Oscar, even though I'm mildly allergic to him. He's just, I wish everybody could be like him. That dog was found abandoned on a highway. That's how I got him. He was in one of the worst animal control facilities ever. And I drove 2 hours to have him pulled because I thought he was about half the size that he was, but it turned out the animal control facility officer was just really tall and taking the picture from his vantage point. And it all worked out the way it was supposed to. But Oscar loves everybody. He's happy to see everybody. It's beautiful to see when I'm walking him, just how much that dog loves people, and he makes them feel better because of the way he reacts to them. I swear that dog is just made of magic, and he's like condensed love. And that is one of the things that I can do that is a beautiful energy exchange for me and choose my particular. That's a giant blessing, is I have he makes my nose run, but he fills my heart up. He's a beautiful, wonderful soul. There we go. Find those things in your life. You have them, whether it's a pillow that you love snuggling into, or a great comfortable bed, or a hot shower that feels great. There's something to celebrate in your life, and you will simply feel better if you celebrate it. The Hand of Fate. Forces beyond your control intervene. Let us hope they're good ones. The Dragon. Strength and wisdom. I'm going to take one more from you. The Talisman. You are destined to succeed. Hey, group number, and then I had choose your words carefully from the Sphinx. It was flipped, so I went after it. Group number 2, success, ka-ching, 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 ka-ching. Don't lose focus on what is truly important in your life. The way we are viewed by others, this world has taught us that there is a way of being successful that other people will admire, and it almost exclusively focuses on cars and money and stuff. And I live in a very, very affluent area of the country, and I read those people's cards sometimes. They are, if anything, less happy than people with more. Why? Because they can buy anything they want, so nothing is ever a treat. Meaning they can't give themselves that little lift, that little oomph, that everything is too easy for them, so they're stuck only with their emotional world. And they're not as happy as you think they are quite frequently. Success is being happy, being joyful, enjoying your experience. And if you really want money, that will involve money. If you really want prestige, that will involve prestige. But if you really want joy and connection and love, that is as successful as having $1 billion, because that billionaire can buy as many houses as he, she, or they wish, but nothing can fill them with love other than their own heart and soul. And many of those people can't trust anybody because of how much that they have. And so they have their walls up to connection at a level that you almost can't believe. Please don't envy people with more. Their experience is different than you think it is. And not everyone. There's no universal rich person experience. I'm just saying it doesn't contain the joy that our capitalist society and world has a tendency to tell us that it does. Joy is within your heart, your mind, your body, and your soul, not within your bank account. All right, let's get a wellness card. 1 and 2. All right, my hair is a mess. I'm in an old faded t-shirt. I've been doing too many things. Here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. All right, and we're going to get going to pile number 3 in fairly short order. I'm trying to keep this moving along today. Communication. Healthy communication is meaningful in all relationships, and I realize that I must express to others how I desire to be communicated with. That's boundary issue. I manifest people that will expand my thinking, make me laugh, and bring happiness into my life. Consider yourself a student throughout the course of your life, and that you are learning lessons, and ask that life be your teacher, and ask that life teach you kindly. Boundless joy. Happiness is a wonderful state, but unpleasant emotions are a beautiful scenic path to greater joy soon to come. These ebb and flow and allow me to appreciate the good times. I will remember my joy is abundant and never ending. So listen, this is that toxic spirituality crap that like I'm always all over. Please do not pressure yourself to accept painful, traumatic, grief-stricken experiences as like, what a wonderful experience I'm having. But rather tell yourself it won't last. Everything will change. Every good thing will come back to me. If I'm grieving the loss of a relationship, it's because it was very meaningful to me. And I loved that relationship and I can feel my feelings and they will not define me for all time. That's the way to handle negative emotions. Sometimes things suck. We don't hear that a lot in the spiritual community, but sometimes things are really challenging and they just plain old fashioned suck, but they're not permanent. And that's the way that we get through things. It's going to change. It's going to pass. Like when I started this YouTube channel, and you can't tell from seeing me on the videos, but every single night I would sob for like 4 or 5 hours. I had been through an incredibly traumatic experience with, well, never mind. I just been through a terribly traumatic experience. And for a good solid 1.5 years, that was my life. And all the way through it, I would be crying, saying it won't last forever. This will get better. And I was right. And it did get less and less over time. Now, was it hideously painful while it was going on? Yes, I didn't think I was going to live. I genuinely didn't think I was going to live because it was physically painful. They don't tell you that about actual heartbreak, is it's like, no, I thought my heart was stopping. And I am actually a very robustly healthy person. The thing that got me through that was understanding that pain is transient, that if I allowed myself to, I could heal. Healing is something we invite in. It is not something that comes and finds us. It is a balanced state in which we go towards something that is coming towards us, but it's never going to knock down your door and get you. Keep telling yourself it can get better, and then it will. Let's go for the Infinity Oracle, 1 and 2 and 3. All right, celebration, eternal love, divine masculine, vivid dreams. Vivid dreams can be about fantasy and delusion, but it can also be about allowing yourself an expansive energy in which you see a better world for yourself. Now, this is very, very obviously something about, I would assume, a romantic love with eternal love and soulmates and celebration and vivid dreams. There isn't a slight energy of like dreams beginning to become possible again. And whenever I'm talking to somebody who, because I attract trauma survivors, because like energy attracts like energy, I will encounter people who have the never again, no, I will never risk myself again. Listen, you're not healed. If that's how you feel, you're not healed. You have more healing to do, because there were plenty of good experiences in that as well, or else you wouldn't have been in the relationship or the circumstances. When you are healed, that's the part that you will focus on. And the relationship that like had me crying for like 1.5 years and things, it was really very, very, very bad for the last 5 years. And it was all towards me. And I was staying because I was convinced my ex-husband was very, very ill. And I'm not going to go into why, but I didn't think it was right to leave somebody who was ill. And so I was just constantly living in an energy that was not serving me. Let's put it that way. Living in an energy that was not serving me. I was able to heal from that. And I am now able to look back at the 15 years that preceded that. And I had lots of happy memories. It was a mutually toxic relationship at the beginning of it. It just became, as I healed, it was just toxic towards me. And for a while when I was healing, all I could remember was the pain. And I would say the focus of the memories was like just the bad stuff that I had been a lot of denial about. And as I healed, I started to remember fun things, and like the experience was worth having. Even though it was so painful at the end, I did not think I was going to live. I genuinely didn't. And to this day, like I don't date because it's like, well, I'm trying to heal. I'd rather build a life that no man can ever screw up on me again. And so I try to heal. That's how I spend my energy of trying to enjoy my experience. And will that ever change? I don't know, maybe. But I used to think never again. And now I think, well, if it's right for me, it'll find me. That'd be a different person. I'm certainly a different person now. If you're still in the energy of, I can't do something because I'm afraid it will hurt me, it means that you still have an injury to heal. Because in an emotional sense, when you are healed, you know that relationships can have joy and pain with them. And healing from the pain is part of the process of overcoming and becoming the next version of yourself, strengthened by the lessons that you learned. And that is not to in any way dismiss anyone's pain ever. Your pain matters. It is significant. When you're in it, it's all you can think about. So when you hear those things, don't being told, hey, it's not that big a deal, you get over it. It's a really big deal, and I'm sorry you're in so much pain. But know that it can get better, and it will get better if you keep trying to get better. All right, I have time apart. Interesting. Some distance will help bring clarity. What's going on here? I immediately don't trust that card. Why? I don't know. It often has, when it starts out the reading, it means it's some passion, awakening, past life love, healing, abundance. Well, my gosh, the cards just basically talked about what I just did, which is time apart, spend time by yourself to heal. And passion is about feelings and emotions. Awakening, as you heal, you will connect better to source. You will no longer just define your experiences by the way in which it kicked your butt, but rather in the ways that you found out that you were, like I found out I was a really, 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 really strong person. And you all are too, because like I said, I've got a bunch of trauma survivors. Tell yourself how strong you are, not I'll never get better. I'm pretty strong. I can probably do this. I've done a lot. Tell yourself that. Believe in you. Believe in you, and more will come to you more easily. Focus was part of your oracle cards. Focus on healing. Healing, past life, love, and abundance. Your soul remembers this intense connection. Healing old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. We're always trying to heal our formative damages, and our relationships, both romantic and friendship and familial, are frequently poking at those old wounds to try and help us. Until you repair it, you will repeat it. Every relationship that comes into your life contains an element for your healing. Everything is purposeful. And then abundance, you've done the work, abundance flows to you now. Abundance does become possible when we have truly healed. And by the way, you cannot jump over recognizing what the injury really did to you. That's that whole toxic positivity, toxic spirituality that I clearly really do not have a lot of patience for. Because if you jump towards forgiveness, I just forgive them. They had all their own wounds. It's like, do you understand the ways in which they injured you and it altered you and what it did to you and how you have to heal that? Because until such time as you do, you can't forgive something until you recognize what it did to you. And so that is the worth of the negative emotion, allowing yourself to feel it and to heal it. Feel it and you will heal it. Now, sometimes the feeling it is very, 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 very difficult. Have patience with yourself. Be kind to yourself. You're like, give yourself credit for being the warrior that you are, even if you feel like you're a crumpled tin can sometimes. You're still here. You're still trying. And if you say, I have no choice, yes, you did. The streets are littered with people who turned towards pain killing as a way of life because it just overwhelmed them. If you're not among them, you have been able to choose you over and over again. And I am, again, I have great love for people who have addiction issues, like actual personal love. So it's not about judgment. It's about, well, their pain overwhelmed them. They couldn't find a way out of their pain other than that source. But if you're not in amongst that, remember, you have been choosing to live with the pain until such time as you can release it. Put a lot of effort in on releasing it, and it will leave you more easily. And that is not because it is inconsequential or doesn't matter because it is transient. It is because you deserve to feel better. That's right. Isolation, autumn, which is a security card, heartbreak, soulmate, good luck, and crossroads. Well, that one's fascinating from the Infinity Oracle deck. It's almost like somebody you know got their butt kicked in the autumn and learned a lesson. That's going to take a different form for different people. It's just going to take a different form for different people. And the reason I'm kind of humming is I have a really strong feeling I know what it's about. Let's let you discover that one for yourself. Remember, as we heal, we get less information as well. We get fewer cheat sheets on our tests. But you have something with a past life relationship, apparently, where somebody got handed a lesson that they couldn't ignore any longer, apparently. 1, 2, 3. I don't know if it was heart failure or not, but that really is what's coming through. Like somebody may have had an actual health scare, 1, 2, and 3, that made them question their choices in life. That is going to be individual. It won't hold true for everybody. Okay. But that's the heads up for the people who are still in the, I'm learning to sometimes forgive and release. The butterfly, relationship evolving to the next phase, healing the inner child and growth. Passion. You keep getting passion cards. Insane chemistry, like each other equally, having fun. Can that actually be getting it on and having fun? Do it. Have fun. If that is something that comes into your life in a healthy form, please remember we are here to enjoy our bodies, and that most of the way that particularly North Americans react to the idea of sex has to do with puritanical views that are about sociological power structures trying to control you. We have bodies for a reason. We enjoy sex for a reason. If it doesn't have to be the be all end all with, I only have sex with people I love, but if that's what you want to do, cool. Just remember, passion and connection and energy exchanges are actually healthful and enjoyable and like yours for the taking if you wish to go towards them, if that is coming into your life. Now, some people are like, yeah, no, happy as can be, celibate. That is awesome. Everybody's individual choice is the right one for them. Just don't make your choices from a place of pain or fear. They make them from a place of confidence in self and love of self. Camera, reminiscing, keepsake, perception, learn from the past, make memories. I like you. Someone likes you, romance is blurting, fun, flirting, want to date. With that Page of Cups energy that you had in the short-term outlook, apparently some people are going to be getting a romantic connection. In playfulness is on the back of this deck. We're going to get a romance angel for you. 1, 2. What do we got from the romance angels, please? What do we got from the romance angels? Did I skip anybody? Did I give everybody? I got that as well. I want to make sure I got this one. Yes. Did I get you guys? Yes. Well, the only problem with using so many decks is that sometimes they all begin to blend together. What do we got for pile number 2? And then we're moving on to pile number 3. It is almost New Year's. 2022 was a year of learning how to be in a balanced state with a lot of challenges. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take with forgiving and learning. I'm positive that I already just went on a great big what forgiveness is energy. And until you recognize what something has done to you, you can't truly forgive it because you are not actually looking at your wound from the actions against you. And so you're forgiving it without acknowledging your actual injury. And that's why it's important. 1, 2, and 3. Let's keep going here with my tiny enchanted map, which I'm so pleased with. I wish it was bigger, but I can't get this deck in the larger size with this cardstock. The replacement, the second edition on this, I've got that one at my office. I'm afraid to sneeze by it because it's that thin. The cardstock is ridiculous. Come together. Group number 2. Stuck in the mud. Home. Balancing act. Stuck in the mud is being held in stasis until such time as you appreciate your life. That's what the meaning of the card is. But the come together, it kind of looks like maybe you're holing up with somebody for some people, meaning like they're locking the door and saying, see you on Monday on a Friday night type of thing. There's, with all that passion energy, for some people, you're getting lucky. That Page of Cups is that emotionally pleasing thing. And you did have the 3 of Wands in reverse, which can be like that literally can be like a hookup energy or friends with benefits energy, or like, I'm not sure where we are, but we're just embarking on this type of energy. And that would be what the deal is for some people. 1 and 2 and 3 in collectives, we're all going to have different things. All right, let's get going. Here we go. Oh, deceit, which can be the codependent energy. Fourth chakra, Archangel Raphael. It can also be just plain old deceit, so be careful. The Sun, which is a healing energy and the start of attachment. Start of personal healing and happiness. That's that codependent energy. It kind of looks to me like if you have been in a codependent place, remember when you embark on new relationships, and that includes friendships because they can be codependent too, just keep an eye on yourself when you feel yourself slipping into obsessive or codependent energies. you just choose to do something else. It really is that simple of like being self-monitoring, work in your own particular little program. And it has nothing to do with addiction, although codependency is a form of addiction. It's actually usually compulsive, being dependent on something. You just kind of have to have steps in place. I meditate, I ground, I call a friend, whatever works for you to break that obsessive thought pattern is what you need to go towards. Let's check your angel answer, which is listen to your intuition. You had breathe and a whole bunch of other things, and then society. Something around too much isolation around my collective. Again, I am like practically a recluse, so I rarely have any room to talk about that. Society, say yes to all the wonderful invitations coming your way. And you can kind of tell because I cringe away from that. Say yes to all the wonderful invitations coming your way. Excellent networking. You had the networking card as well. Opportunities and new love interests for singles will be the result. If you're ready to get back out there, the out there is ready to get back to you. Let's get these guys out of the way, move on to pile number 3. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a beautiful January. I will see you at the end of January for February. All right, we're moving on to pile number 3. Hey guys, please don't forget, I just started my podcast. It is called Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica, currently up on iHeartRadio. It will be up on places like iTunes and Google within a week. It's the first episode. It's like I'm just kind of considering a soft launch because it takes a while to list with iTunes. It is the first 2 episodes are with my friend Devin Van Domlin. She does a really great job. But Jacob, my personal tarot reader, is going to be on. Jonathan Perez from Latinos Against Spooky Shit. I just did a podcast with Karen Rontowski. I've got a bunch of other people as well. Please don't forget to check it out. All right, let's get going here. Like I don't talk enough in my readings or something. The Connolly Tarot. I have to stop and remember. The Connolly Tarot is bringing your predictive spread. Let's get your angel answer and cookie cards separated out. The premise behind this is if you have a question I do not answer throughout the course of the reading, then hopefully the angel answer and the cookie card is just for fun. Usually it's a fortune card. Air. Awesome. Work with the element of air to cut through to the core of a situation and see the truth. In the head and the heart battle, air is the head. Existing in a state of between logical and emotional, weighing things out in both areas. This is the easiest way to achieve energetic balance. Don't be led exclusively by one or the others. People who are like overly analytical and divorce themselves from the emotional are equally like out of balance as somebody who just wears their heart on their sleeve and lets their heart guide all of their actions. Neither is the prescribed for a balanced and a productive and an expansive experience in this world. Try to live in a state of balance. We have, oh, this is beautiful. It has little butterflies on it. It will be available in that close-up of the thumbnail. You are capable of brilliant transformation. Transformation has been all over this particular read as well. Confidence is the card from the The Wisdom of the Night Oracle. I remembered the title. It just took a moment. My brain is failing over here. Confidence is self-esteem, belief in self. One of the things that we gain through healing is confidence in self and knowing that we can overcome anything. And people ask what the worth of like struggling and being like, why would the divine do that to me if they love me? And I'm never mocking it because like for real, I've been drop kicked around the world sometimes. It is because when you overcome something, you gain more and more self-worth in your own eyes. If you are willing to view it that way, like, hey, I'm one heck of a survivor. Telling yourself that if you've been through way too much and you're still here, guess what you are? You're a warrior. You're a survivor. Have confidence in you. Poised. That's also confidence with building blocks. Building block and poised. I always reverse these two. It's like you're poised for a great deal of success. There's this weird word just keeps coming through, which is opportunity, opportunity, opportunity. It's not a weird word. It's just not really matching the cards yet. So let's see what's going on here. Taking steps. The loving woman. I'm not committing to anything on that yet. And what does it likely mean? It means that like there's opportunity for more love in your life, but love is not just a romantic concept. Knight is light attribute is loyalty, romance. Well, sometimes it is. And chivalry, a love of honor. And then the shadow attribute is allegiance to destructive ruler or principal, romantic delusions. Codependency, attachments that influence codependent thinking is a form of like delusional is like a mean word, but it influences you to pay more attention to the fantastical than the practical and the 3D. Have that balance, the heart and the head. Weigh out how somebody has treated you in 3D versus who you think they are, and never give more weight to who you think they are or could be than what they have done and who they are in 3D. Because how somebody acts is something that impacts you and it shows you who they really are. And if somebody has not treated you as being important, it may not be that you're not important to them, but the effect of it makes you feel that way, and it's best to release a connection and do your own work. Anything that's meant for us comes to us. We don't have to do anything. We don't have to hold on to anything. And if we let go of that which is not serving us, then that which does has room to come in. We have to release to receive. I have mediator. Light attribute is gift for negotiating fairness and strategy at a personal and professional life. Respect for both sides of an argument. The shadow attribute is negotiating with an ulterior motive or hidden agenda, either personally or professionally. Taking steps in mediator. Oh, let's find out where this is going. The sacred travel is not like, don't worry, I have no bad vibes on this particular month at all. Other than it's retrograde until the 18th, which means like don't sign contracts. Look into what Mercury retrograde. We have a negative reaction to it. It is a chance to look within, to examine old wounds and to resolve old energies. Clear the air, distant thunder. With air, that's another air energy. Reflect on your truth. You're being a bit of a mystery pile so far, pile number 3. I've got the loving woman. I've got romantic dreamers. I've got poise, building blocks, taking steps, confidence. Confused readers. Let's find out what the tarot has to say about this. The only thing I'm like, it's like you're releasing something and something is coming in, and it does appear to be in an emotional capacity. And again, whenever you hear that, don't just think romantic love. Romantic love is wonderful and it touches a part of us that like nothing else can, but it is not the exclusive form of love. Don't value it over other forms of love, which can be love of life, love of friends, love of pets, love of your existence. Love is an ever expanding energy when we approach all things with love. There we go. 1, 2. What do we got for pile number 3? I love this tarot deck. I found it at a local crystal shop, and I've never seen it listed online, but I just absolutely love it because it's got very vibrant colors. And I'm a little bit I love color. I love color. I'm a very focused. I like vibrant things. That just always have. Here we go. The word neutral almost upsets me as a concept. 6 of Wands in the upright. Triumph over adversity, graduation, success, particularly in social media. Comes out with the 8 of Wands in the upright, which is traveling, energy, progress, communication. It can be falling in love, which is a little bit what's going on over there. And we're going to wait and see how it comes out here. I have it with the 9 of Swords in reversed. That is frequently putting something to rest. It can also be like resting easy, no need to fear. With Ace of Cups in reversed in the recent past, by the way, I'm just going to hold this up so you can get the color balance on it. I know that the camera like usually has a bounce light off of it. Which, by the way, I don't have my ring light turned up too high. My skin reflects light quite a bit. And no matter how low I turn it down, I still get a bounce. I have the Emperor in reverse, which is my least favorite emotional abuser, can be a sociopath, can be an abuse of power, could be in the greater world, could be in your personal world. Page of Swords in reverse, which is usually learning something. It's like research. It's delving deeply into a subject. With the Page of Cups in reverse, which is sometimes an apology. With the 3 Swords in the upright, in the external energy. So this is the water group, which is about emotions. Remember, don't pick the piles based on your astrological sign. It's the ruling element of your month. You may be drawn to different piles at different times. That can be divorce. It can be breakup. It can be COVID. It can be health matters as well. Do I have any health warnings over here? No, not so much. King of Wands in the upright, the start of something new. That's a manifesting energy. It can be fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. It's in my hopes and fears category. Lovers in the upright, which is the Gemini card. It can literally be soulmates. It can, in fact, be an actual lover. It can be being careful with your choices. With the Empress in reverse. And then the transition card, which is the death card in other decks. In this one, it is called transition because that's what death is. It is transitioning to a different state of being. That's the Scorpio card. For some people, you have a returning friend who needs to apologize for something. They were doing their own work. For others, you have a former partner who is returning and wishes to apologize. I don't think it is to reignite the relationship. It seems to be to free you from an old energy so that you can move forward in the energy of love. It's going to differ from person to person. The Eight of Pentacles in reverse, nothing to do. Don't worry about that. I worry a little bit this could be a COVID surge. If it is, it's a fairly mild one. I don't have anything drastic around COVID because we have a new variant coming out of China. I have not picked up anything drastic on it. With the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which can be, boy, these are two energies of like kind of not working. With the Three of Wands in the upright, which is that ship coming in card, opportunity, anticipation. This Three of Swords is one of the most benign Three of Swords. It's usually like I've got one in a deck where I just dread when it comes out in front of clients. I've like stopped taking it to in-person reads because it's a severed human head with like three swords. Or it's cartoonish. It's in the Renaissance deck, but it's still just, it's like, what's that? It's like, well, it's not as bad as it looks because it really is about healing as well. The third sword representing healing. This particular one is piercing a gray cloud as if confusion. It's as if there is this lifting of an energy that is repressive or hurtful around you. It does appear to be an apology as well. It can be, sometimes we have to choose closure. Sometimes we never will get an apology. Sometimes like somebody will have deeply wronged us and they're never gonna, it's not their lifetime to do their work. They'll carry it forward. They'll have karma in a different lifetime. And all we can choose to do is say, well, you're not everybody. And all I need to be safe in this world is to be able to protect myself. Sometimes it's an energy we choose. With the Star in reverse, which is sometimes like something just beyond our reach. Hey guys, I have multiple cards that are saying, please watch your health, because I just got the Strength card in reverse as well. And that comes out with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, which can be a misconnection, a dropped ball. It can be holding somebody accountable or failing to hold somebody accountable. Hey, I only ever share like news that it's like, well, it's a tiny bit concerning with this proviso. You will recognize it within your life. Please do not freak out. But if there is something in your life that is medically concerning, please pay attention to it. There is like this is saying, please seek help with something. I don't have the healing energy, but I have a need to make a change around a health matter. And you're going to already have seen something. It could be in somebody that you know. It could be in one of your pets. It could be, please don't ignore something thinking it will get better. Seek out help on something. And it's not because it's dire. It's because it's mendable. It's fixable. That's the taking steps as well. Hanged Man in reverse, different perspective on that King of Wands. Justice in the upright. With the Knight of Cups in the upright as well. Well, that's official. The High Priestess in the upright, it's hidden. Hey, listen, pile number 3. For my people who've recovered from codependency, we will cease to get information about our romantic connections at a detailed level. Please leave it there. Because getting too many details is incredibly bad for codependency. It triggers things. If you've done all that work, please don't accidentally sabotage yourself. But this is saying that the romantic area of your life, and I've known it since those cards were going down, I've been like, your romantic area of life is starting to open up. And why do I have that particular reaction? I was so badly traumatized by some events in my own life that I have not been able to date. Like people try to flirt with me and I get scared and I run away and then I cry. And it's been that way for 4 years. And I don't know if it'll ever get better, but maybe it will. So that's why my personal reaction is like, because it's like, oh, that's menacing. That does mean I'm not quite healed. Now, is it possible to have an injury so deep that you cannot heal from it? Yes. It's like but it's also, I don't define my entire existence by it. I have lots of joy. I have friendship. I have love. I love my job. I love all the opportunity. I'm so, I can feel the divine in my life in so many different ways. I'm so blessed. I'm so fortunate. I'm so lucky. It's just that area of my life was so badly damaged that it's possible that it will remain dented for the rest of my life. And I'm at peace with that. But that is why I have a funky reaction to, hey guys, some people have that area of their life expanding again. Please don't look for too many details on it, because it may trigger something that you did a lot of work to heal, particularly a broken heart, codependent attachments to toxic relationships. And listen, everything that I just said, because people still do flirt with me and things, like, I'm sure there's going to be a day where I well, maybe I'll flirt back. It hasn't happened yet, but like it could. It could. And like just the fact that like it's not as bad as it used to be, it gets better all the time. The reason I'm kind of going into that is that there are so many areas of your life that are expanding. There's a very successful energy on this, and to clear the air, allow yourself to release that pain, even if you've had your heart broken. I have had to do that work, and I've been doing, by the way, I did so much work for my collective on releasing generational curses. And one of the generational curse that was on my family had multiple members of my family throughout the generations spending decades of their life alone at the end of their life because they were very, 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 oh my God, codependent. Like my grandmother, her partner died, her husband died following a routine surgery. And as far as I know, never dated again. She drank herself to death. She was my main caretaker, and she drank herself to death. I'm not laughing because it's funny. It's a trauma response. If you've been watching me for a while, you already know that. I'm not saying that she ever should have expanded her life, but her life stopped the day my grandfather died. And life can't stop because someone isn't by our side any longer. That is the heart of codependency. Your life is meant to expand and continue no matter who it is or isn't in it. But we can have these devastating occurrences. Please allow yourself to heal where you can. And that's why when I say like, hey, it's been 4 years and I just can't yet, as far as I know, it's going to be really hard for me now because I won't set foot on a dating app, which is not like it's not poo-pooing anybody who does. Think about who I am, how I speak, what I'm interested in, and what I do. Like, I'm going to find somebody on a dating app who actually matches my interests. It's going to have to be dropped from on high for it to reach me. And I'm perfectly fine with that as a concept as well. So it's not my particular area of interest, but please allow yourself to continue to heal. Please allow yourself to continue to heal. And the reason I'm really hitting that one is apparently things are coming towards you that are about that ability to heal. And it will apparently, like I said, what happens to me when, like, in a surprising number, for somebody who doesn't date, it's like, wow, I get flirted with like more than I would think would be likely, because my spirit guides are trying to bring me opportunities to heal, because it does get better and better. It really does get better and better. The very first time it happened, I literally cried for 3 hours afterwards. I was just like, I was shaken and scared. And like, did the person do anything? No. Like, it was my reaction. It felt like my life was being threatened. It wasn't that bad the next time. It was even better the next time. And the next time after that, I was laughing at like, oh, wow, I literally turned and ran. Like afterwards, I was laughing at myself because it must have looked like a cartoon. This poor man started flirting with me, talking about my hair. And I realized what he was doing and started backing away, and then literally said like one word that I don't even remember and said, ran. I don't know what he thought. I never checked back with him. But it started to be funny. And that's another sign of healing. That's another sign of healing. So allow yourself to heal. Don't jump in with both feet. Stick a toe in that water and make sure that you're keeping on top of the processes that brought you into a healed energy. Mountain, know that you are protected as you face challenges, but remain cautious. Woo, beware. Be careful who you trust at this time. World, be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. Yo, you're being confusing. Okay. Caution is called for as you venture forth into the world, but they want you to venture forth into the world. This pile is very, very clearly saying, hey, oh, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. We've given you as much time as we can in that, kind of stasis energy. And now more is coming into your life. Gratitude, that was in the last pile as well. I'm thankful for this life and the opportunities that it presents. Everything is an opportunity for growth, but most growth is best glimpsed in the rearview mirror after we have overcome the pain. Don't pressure yourself to feel grateful for every experience. If something hurts, it hurts. Acknowledge that pain, understand it, find out what it's reminding you of. It's the way to heal it. The whole, everything's a positive experience does not allow you to heal anything because you refuse to acknowledge the pain. I have, oh gosh, love. The Hallmark's not hiring me anytime soon. And do I react this way in readings? No, it's completely different when it's face to face because I'm connected to that person's energy and I see their path. In general readings, because I've just gone into I'm so traumatized and vaguely destroyed, it bumps into my stuff first, and that's why I flinch and react like that. But love is a beautiful thing. Try to embrace it. I commit to the practice of seeing the good in all things. And then judgment. I understand that everyone has their own unique path and challenges. File number 3, it's clearly scaring the poop out of me, but love is in the air. It looks like there are greater connections, more success available to you. Practice gratitude as often as you can. It helps so very much. Let's get an Endora fortune card. I'll get a Soul Explorer card as well. 1 and 2 and 3. That was an interesting energy. There's some emotionally challenging times around you, but choose your emotional direction. We get to do that. We get to do that. If you catch yourself being frustrated or impatient, be like, I'm being impatient. Nothing really is. I'm choosing peace. I choose peace. That's my personal mantra. I'm choosing peace. Sometimes I'm saying it I'm choosing peace, but I am choosing peace. The moon, you'll be guided through darkness. The wizard, use your skills to aid others. The gate, a barrier keeps you from your goal. Sometimes the barrier is our own fear. Clearly, which is what's going on with me when I start seeing love in a general read, because some of these cards can be about me. That is why I'm reacting oh. But love actually that's not what love is. That is just my trauma that is still trying to heal. That it's oh yeah, but I feel better and I'm happy now. And what love represents to me right now is the opportunity to have that blown up. And I know that's not true. I know that's my emotional response, and my intellectual one is somebody else would be a completely different person. I can't hold them on the hook for what somebody else did. Even if my trust was entirely violated, betrayed, and blah, 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 it's that doesn't mean no one's trustworthy. There we go. Let's get your wellness cards. Passions. Pursuing my hobbies and unique interests is not a waste of time. My hobbies bring me pure inner joy, and my interests light up my spirit in a fantastic way. I dismiss societal pressure and simply allow myself to enjoy the things that I like. Do not worry if you like I was saying to, I think the last pile, one of the things I like to do is watch those train rides from the cab view on YouTube at night. It's very relaxing for me. Would that bore the stuffing out of somebody else? Sure, but they're not me and it doesn't bore me. It is something that I enjoy. If you like something off the beaten path, as long as it is not harming you or somebody else, don't let anybody judge you. Be you. You are who you are for a reason. Adventurer. I'm an adventurous person. I will focus on the journey rather than the destination and open myself to new opportunities as they come. Caring nature. I will always aim to be sympathetic, empathetic, compassionate, and kind. However, I will avoid expending my own mental health and happiness for the sake of others. My first priority is me. Hey, let's talk a little tiny bit about that, because self-protection is not selfishness. And sometimes you will choose to sacrifice for somebody else. Good boundaries does not mean I always prioritize me, myself, and I. It is recognizing that I have the choice. And sometimes we will choose to prioritize another because that is part of having a caring nature. But it is not something done out of obligation. It is something done by choice. Recognizing that it is something that we are giving of ourselves rather than needing to meet the expectations of others. Did it get you? No. Let's get a Soul Explorer. What do we got for pile number 3 that scared the crap out of me? It's nothing bad. Like when love is the thing that I'm like, I'm scared. It's like, you guys should be happy. It really looks like they were good. We'll get your love cards here in a moment and see what it has to say. I have the love of your dragon reaches out to you. The realm of your truth is opening up. Being your authentic self, being accountable for the parts of you that you need to heal. One of the things that helped me heal was recognizing at the start of that relationship I have referenced is we were mutually toxic people. I had been so traumatized, it was a miracle that I was functional from that childhood I sometimes refer to. Functional people weren't supposed to emerge from that. And I kind of wasn't super functional. I had to teach myself almost everything when I was in my 20s, and I wasn't good at things right away. And my personal relationships showed that. And when I first got married, we did not have emotionally healthy dynamics and it was mutually toxic. I healed over time, and my ex-husband did not. He was under a lot of work pressure and he became more and more unhappy. And because it was a codependent relationship, he blamed me. And so I was taking the brunt of that almost all the time. Here we go, 1 and 2 and 3. But he is also just a person who was wounded by his own circumstances. Like, you know, there are very few true villains. Sometimes they are, like, you can meet really, really, really bad people. Even sociopaths are made. And they're the only person there's no hope for is a psychopath. Sociopaths, like their dim flame of empathy can be something that they try and correct. Now, it is a antisocial personality disorder and it may not be curable. So please don't be like, hey, you're a sociopath, I love you. Honest to goodness, just saying that there are things that exist in degrees. And if something is at a low degree, we can go forward and heal almost anything. Dark night of the soul. The dark night of the soul, there is a point to it. It is teaching us that our connection to the divine does not have to be constantly manifesting to be present in our life. It's really easy to believe when everywhere you look is like, and there's that blessing, and oh, here it comes, and I'm just manifesting all over the place. When nothing will work out, but you still believe, that is the dark night of the soul. And when you come through it, your connection is much, much stronger. With karmic partner, mirroring, and regain balance, past life relationship. All right, guys. I like if the like vague whimpering quality in my voice, please don't overinvest in that. That's my stuff. I'm sorry it's coming into this reading. What's coming back is a karmic lesson and a karmic partner, and it is Mercury retrograde in the first till the 18th. It's the perfect time. Does that mean that the physical person is coming back? Not necessarily, but the opportunity to recognize and release the energy. Like that thing I just went into about recognizing that it's like, it wasn't a super healthy relationship to start because I was not healthy. I just kept healing myself. It's that kind of thing. It's recognizing, taking that one step out for greater perspective on things. It's that mostly that things go really south when we won't release what isn't meant for us. And I would not release it because my whole identity was wrapped up in being married and having I don't have any family of my own. And my ex-husband had a very extended family. And so it was very important to me, even though I had no idea how to interact with them, that I had a family. And of course, I had discovered in the aftermath that I never did. Like if I ever had a family, I would still have a family. And all of those people are gone from my life. And that's okay. That's okay. But it's recognizing things like that. Why wouldn't I leave? Because it covered too many bases in my life that it was my job to cover. Leap of faith. It is safe to make the move you're considering. That is the dark night of the soul. That is being the authentic self. That is ego death. When you're able to look at yourself and be like, I'm going to hold myself accountable. It's not about not liking myself. It's about recognizing what I would wish to improve so that I have a better experience. Okay. Like when we're recognizing the role that we play in our own suffering, it is not because it's like, hey, I have to sit myself down and tell myself how much I suck. That is not what that is. It is the only way to heal it is to look at it. And like, I can be really like, I'm much better as I get older, but like, I can be a really, really like impossible person because you can't budge me if I don't wish to be budged. And that I've gotten in my own way almost more than life has gotten in my own way. Regret. Someone feels remorse for the way they treated you. Different pages, young person and self-care with new love. All right. I'm going to leave that experience with you to have rather than to break it down for you. And I will be doing that more and more as we heal more and more. We need fewer and fewer clues, breadcrumbs on a path. We just need to have roadmaps at the beginning to guide us. And then afterwards, we get guideposts. And then we get hints. And it's all to get us to be stronger, to rely on our own connection to source and our own intuition. And that's the form that tarot card reading will often take when you're healed, is that like finding out what's coming up isn't about like, how could I survive this? But rather, how can I prepare for it because I believe in me? But you're not trying to live your life to outcomes. That's a controlling thing, which controlling is often about safety. And as I'm always saying, and it's not meant as a dire thing or a threat, please accept this as the truth, because it is the truth. Life is not safe. Nothing that you do can make it safe. Can you be safer at other times than, like, if you're in the middle of the downtown Detroit, in the middle, like holding a stack of cast at like 5 a.m. in the morning in a gun infested area? Are you safe? No, God, no. You're very, 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 very unsafe. You would, in fact, be safer in your bed at home. But you can never be completely safe, because life can be extinguished, and therefore there is peril in it. Stop living your life trying to seek safety and simply believe in your ability to be your own rescuer, and you will be safe at all times because you have your greatest protector in the form of yourself. Let's get our love cards. Girl talk. Time with friends, moving on, happily single, living in the moment, having fun, date, meeting someone new, dating, getting back out there, plans, set a date. Not enough, frustrated in a relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, and jealousy. And then the golden mirror, self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, and love bombing with axe. Breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, and abandonment with lightning. I kind of knew it was going there. All right, so pardon me. My dog allergy is kind of coming to the fore here. Now I'm knocking my phone off. Please don't let the past inform the future. You have broken through patterns that have held you back in the past. Group number 3, there is just, it's over and over again. New opportunities are coming to you. Could it be with somebody from the past? Perhaps. That will differ from person to person. Make sure that like everything is reciprocal, because that is one of the biggest problems with codependency, is that it's the narcissist empath paradigm. And an empath wants to give and give and give and give and give. Empaths are actually meant to be in healing and teaching and like professions that make something better, like HR or school teachers or any of the things that help serve others. But initially, empaths try to give all of their love to one person. That's not what it's meant for. It's meant to be given to yourself, to your person, and to the world at large. That's why people emerge. And by the way, every now and then, people who talk about toxic spirituality in a different way than I talk about it, we'll talk about how there is no one's an empath. You've just become hypervigilant and you're very aware of other people's body signals. No, you're not. Some people are, but some people, that thing where you can wake up and think of somebody and you hear from them later in the day, that is not being hypervigilant. That is being sensitive to the energies around you and being able to reach forward ever so slightly in the energetic timeline to perceive what is really there. And if somebody doesn't believe in that, fine, then it won't enter their life, but don't let them poo-poo it for you, because they're not living your experience. You are. There we go. Very soon, you deserve love. Very soon, clearly decide what you want so that it comes to you now. I am not going to expand on that. Very soon. Enchanted map. Let's go. Enchanted map from the freaked out and frightened at the mere thought of love reader. I'm fine. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I get nervous for my people who have recovered from codependency, because the start of a new relationship is like, everything is a nail biter. It's like, are you going to be okay? Are you going to be able to adhere to all the healthy practices? Are you going to have the relationship you've always deserved? And that's why I get very tense around it, or I flinch away a little bit, because I have a love for everybody I've ever helped with this. And I just want really good things for them. Strength. Moonlight, which is a card of intuition. Dry desert, and then intention, with Bone Collector, which is reclaiming the parts of yourself that were lost to trauma, which, you know, like I said, someday there's going to be a dude who flirts with me and I'll just flirt back, I guess. And maybe it's tomorrow. I don't know. Remember, allow yourself to have a different experience. Allow yourself to be ever evolving, and the thought that even if something has taken a while to heal, it really can. And the Bone Collector is saying they're trying to, after a period of like nothing happening other than you sitting around with your intention to heal, that part of you is trying to come back to life in a healthier form. Encourage it, love it, nurture it, take very good care of it, and watch to make sure that you're staying in a healthy energy on it. Just because you've recovered from codependency or been codependent does not mean does not then mean that you will be single for the rest of your life. It doesn't need to mean that. It means that when you begin to pair up again, you have to keep an eye on how healthy the connection is. Financial constraints, Archangel Metatron, Journey, rest and rejuvenation with Magician in the Mirror. Financial constraints can, in fact, be about not making as much money as you want to be. They can be about investments faltering. With this psychic card as well, it can also be about this kind of anxious energy or a drained energy. I get this card a lot when there's absolutely nothing wrong with my money, but it's telling me you're too drained. Your energy is drained. Your psychic energy is drained. You need to make sure that you are adhering to your process. The Journey card, rest and relaxation is a meditation card, and Magician in the Mirror is about returning yourself to personal power. When you are drained, take the steps to balance, to ground, to re-up your energy. And apparently it's not going to talk to you at all about the romantic connection that has been all over this. And remember, that will differ from person to person. And again, love is not just a romantic concept. So it could be good friends. It could be greater connections in your professional world. It is about an expansive emotional energy. Look for a sign from your angel cards with communication. A reunion could bring love or a rekindling of friendships. A lucky win seems likely is what's on your fortune cookie card. All right, let's move on to pile number 4. I think I've probably said enough about romantic connections. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you hopefully in February of 2023. Timestamps will be edited in after the broadcast. Hey, number 4, we're taking the traditional Magna deck for your predictive cards. I'm going to weed out your angel answer card and your fortune cookie card. Let's get going with your, am I going to get it all the way through having used the Making Magic cards without like having to poo-poo the summon fairies card, which don't summon fairies. They don't follow the same rules that human beings do. And so, like, honest to goodness, they can think you are just the cutest little thing on the face of the earth, and they would find it amusing to screw up your entire life because they don't follow our rules. And when you summon something that is more powerful than you, you don't necessarily control it. And that's why I'm always saying, please don't summon fairies. Happy love. Okay, a joyful, stable partnership and good friends. We got all the way through it without the fairies menacing me. I have, you are capable of magical creation. How fun is that? And I did shuffle for all those. Those were not like selected by the image. The warrior. Well, good for you. That is someone who survives, somebody who overcomes. Happy love, the warrior. You're capable of magical creation. Chop wood, busy month for you, it looks like, with fork in the road, crossroads energy around that. We have loss from the quantum oracle. And fear and loss. Okay. Hey, negative energies can sometimes hold us back as well. The fearing and the loss and the doing the work around healing your love space is one of the things that's coming through. The fork in the road energy, we have crossroads over and over and over again. 2022, like the last 6 months of it, I was just constantly I get the crossroads card over and over and over again. It wasn't until in retrospect that I understood that I was constantly choosing a particular path. And it was one that I'm very proud of, but like I didn't understand until it was like pretty much over this, like, oh, that's what you were doing. And that will happen. Like you will see things more clearly in retrospect sometimes. Trickster. Transcending convention, stuffiness, and predictable behavior. This is the archetype deck. It is about being a nonconformist. Remember, there is almost no worth in conformity, because things that we're asked to conform to are almost always trying to control us. Power structures trying to control us so that they can utilize our personal energy rather than allowing us to express our personal energy. The shadow attribute is manipulating others through duplicity. Let's find out where this one's going. With the goddess energy, the light attribute is the feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. The shadow attribute is exploitation of the female and natural form, nature and form. I just laughed because of the Andrew Tate situation where it's like, yay, Romania, go. We have the finding sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source. Group number 4, you're always the wild card because you're the mental energy of air, meaning there's fewer emotions usually tied up here. Embrace your power. Finding sanctuary, what were you? Warrior, happy love, magical creation. Oh, it looks like you're just so like the only thing is like fear and loss. As success comes to people who have been through a lot, and success in any area of life, it can stir up fear because now you have something and you could lose it. And what you kind of have to do is just make peace with the, yeah, that's the way it works. Things are rarely permanent. This is an impermanent existence just as it stands. And so don't focus on how long do I get to keep something in your life. Enjoy it while it's there. And it may be transient or it may be for the rest of your life. But don't define what you will allow into your life by how long does it get to be there. Now, there are provisos with that. If you're the type of person who doesn't like to have casual relationships, then don't put pressure on yourself to be like, this person, we can be together for 3 weeks and it will be this wonderful whirlwind romance. If that's not your bag, don't do it. Like you really, it's the choice is still within your hands, but please don't make your choices from a place of fear, because fear is the opposite energy of love. Love is the energy of the divine. If you are embracing your soul's path and your soul's journey, you are trying to inhabit the energy of love, which is ever expanding. All right, and then the goddess energy is also that fruitful, sort of abundant energy as well. Lots of like, don't be afraid of your own power energy already. 6 of Wands in the upright. Last group got this as their current card as well, which is moving forward, graduating. It is success. It is being admired. It is a triumph over adversity. It is also the herald of good news. With the King of Cups in the upright, which can be Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio energy, but it is also one of my cards for divine love. It is about that kind of lovely, benevolent, caretaking energy. Is I guess as things go forward, the first thing this draw is telling you is please remember that you're protected. And again, whenever I say that and like somebody doesn't feel very protected, if you're still alive and able to heal, chances are good you're very protected. Because being protected is not the same thing as being swaddled. It is being allowed the time and space to breathe and to heal. And sometimes you'll be in a dreadful condition as you heal and get better, but you're still protected because something is trying to help you heal. 6 of Swords in reverse, which is a delayed energy, with the 10 of Swords in the upright, which is often a spiritual awakening card. Something ends, but something new begins. The 6 of Swords in the upright is one of the cards for peace, and the 6 of Swords in reverse can be a card of conflict or of like a lack of peace, of disruption. Comes out with the 10 of Wands in the upright. That's 2 complete cycle cards right in a row, 10-10. With the Knight of Swords in reverse, that can be about anger. Like honest to goodness, now it has none of the other cards around it, so don't overinvest in this. This is one of my cards for murder. Like every now and then I'll get it in my daily draw at the beginning of the day, and then I'll like the very first thing I encounter is a news story about a murder. And so it is one of my cards for murder. I have no reason to believe that it is here. Here it is messages going back and forth, I believe. With the 5 of Wands in reverse, which is a peaceful energy and not struggling energy, a releasing the struggle, knowing that everything that comes to us is there to help us and to guide us. With the 4 of Wands in the upright, which is the 11-11 card, it is spirit messages. It can be new homes. It is contentment and happiness and celebration. The High Priestess in the upright, the unknown card, the enigmatic energy of the goddess Persephone. During the winter, Persephone is, if you know the myth at all, she has to return to the underworld as the world rests in order to grow new things. That is the goddess who is on the High Priestess card. What's going on there? The Devil card in the upright, that can be the Capricorn card. It's not always a bad card. It can be the card for codependency, but it can be the card of physical indulgence and reveling. It can be the card of wealth coming to you. Let's see what it comes out with. It can be a relationship to a person, place, or thing that is not serving you. With the Nine of Swords in the upright, and then the Page of Swords in the upright as well. The Nine of Swords can be not sleeping well. It can be a lot of communication in your dreams. The Page of Swords is frequently researched text messages. It is a communication, the start of something. Can be a younger male. Can be a younger male with a air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy. What is going on here? King of Wands in the upright with the Three of Pentacles in reverse. And then the Four of Cups in the upright, clarifying my Four of Wands. This is actually a very good energy, and it's a little bit like, despite some fears, like there's this expansive energy if you will allow it to, but you hold yourself back a little bit. You hold yourself back a little bit. I'm going to be really freaking honest. One of the energies that's coming through here is please stop defining your life so much by the past. And like that's just the energy that's on this one, is that the past with the Six of Swords in reverse is one of my cards for the past, is it defines how you approach things just that little tiny bit too much. Five of Pentacles in reverse is an easing of financial circumstances. With the Two of Swords in the upright, which can be a card of choices, of needing to face a difficult situation or face the truth. And it comes out with the Ace of Cups in reverse. Listen, work's challenging for you, group number 4, the exterior world. You get tired very easily because there's a lot of stuff that you need to work through. You have some fears around the greater world that don't let it overtake you. Know that you are in fact protected. You have this sense of personal power, but a fear about losing it. You've got the Magician's energy up here with the you are capable of magical creation. This is always going to be the pile that has fewer emotional connections because the energy of air frequently does. Eight of Cups in the upright with the Strength card in the upright, that's technically 8-8. With the Moon in reverse, clarifying the High Priestess in the upright. The goddess Persephone is, of course, often associated with the moon. What's going on? With the Two of Pentacles in the upright, everything coming out in a balanced state. Money looks like it's actually quite good despite some fears that you have around it. Work is a little bit too busy. You've got so many, sometimes you've got too many balls up in the air. And frankly, you overinvest in the moment sometimes, meaning that if something's going wrong, you don't view it as something that is crossing through your life or in the moment. It just takes root and it grows a little bit too easily. You get stuck in your head just a tiny little bit. You've got chopped wood and fork in the road. I have so much happening in work situations. I have you easily connecting with other people, but you keep it at a slightly surface level. You like to withdraw into self. You go into hermit mode in order to recharge. Hey, guess what? For once, I'm not going to tell you that's the wrong call. It apparently really, really works for you with this trickster energy and this goddess energy. And I've got 3 different cards with goddess energy. The feminine expressed through wisdom, nature, life force, and sensuality. I have nothing that backs up the shadow attribute on the trickster thing where you need to be aware about somebody being a liar, pants on fire. In fact, you kind of see with clarity very easily. This is an interesting month, and the only thing that you're being asked to overcome is a tendency to take a little bit of a negative view on developments in the greater world. If you keep telling yourself something will work out, it won't work out. It doesn't actually impact in the greater world, whether it does or it doesn't, but it certainly impacts your personal energy. I just have a very slight, you're choosing the pessimistic view to protect yourself from fear. Like you think of hope as being a risk. And can hope be a risk when you have it in one thing? Yes, because that thing can let you down. When you have it in everything, saying something's going to work out because things always do. And if something doesn't, one particular thing, you're like, well, it's okay because that means it's something else. Try not to pin your hopes to one thing, but you don't like to pin your hopes to almost anything. I've got these like encouraging signs, and then I've got the happy love card again. The warrior. You're a little too self-protective. You're a little too self-protective. I've just got multiple energies around, like you say no to connections sometimes from a place of like assuming that you know how the connection will develop. There's a lot of that present here. That is the old issue in retrograde. Our older issues come back to us to help us deal with them. World, be open to new possibilities in all areas of your life. Patience, slow down, change your attitude and clear your mind. That's really what I'm getting is the sun, open your heart to the enormous growth ahead. Group number 4, whatever happened to make you shut down to the idea that like things are going to get better from here. Like the healed part that you achieved was this is good enough. And like I have my little things that I love. I like to withdraw into books or to stories, or healthy escapism is very important. I'm not in any way poo-pooing that, but I'm saying that try to be more hopeful about the trajectory of everything around you because you will simply feel better. Try to be more helpful about the people that you meet, not that you need to assume that you know who they are because you've met tricksters in the past. Not everybody is like, a lot of people are just like you. They got their, their lessons came to them with force sometimes. Give people more of the benefit of the doubt. And you can do that and still have strong boundaries. Honesty. I can't always expect the truth from others, but I can expect it from myself. Guilt, and then patience again. Guilt is I release any beliefs that no longer assist in my soul's growth, which is almost a little bit what I was just saying. And then patience, I accept that everything happens in divine order. Patience is peace. Patience is power, because when you're patient, you know everything happens when it's meant to, and it will happen when it's meant to. Patience is one of those, and it's the cure for anxiety, trying to find the way to have patience. And it starts with reminding yourself when you feel yourself becoming impatient, ask yourself, what are the stakes here? Why am I being like, get this over with, get this over with? Unless somebody's like, performing surgery on you, most of the time, it's fine if something takes a little bit longer. We have a false sense of urgency around things that makes us frustrated. And people who are naturally impatient are usually actually simply fearful and anxious. Examine the fear, because it means that you don't fully trust your own abilities, not others. People who shut down other people in their life because they might be up to something, maybe instead trust that you'll be able to spot people who are up to no good. You're very, very, very discerning. And then the happy love has to do with friendship as well. There's this weird return to self energy with that 8 of Cups and the strength energy. I don't love the devil card with the 9 of Swords up there, but that's acting from a place of fear. Again, breakup, separation, stop the pattern, silent treatment, and abandonment acts. I don't know why I grabbed these first. I didn't take any of the other ones. I'll go back and get different ones. Love, unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion, affection, and attraction, healing heart, healing from heartbreak, freedom from toxic relationship or addiction, mirroring each other, self-image, relationship, reflect our wounds and introspection, and karmic relationship, fleeting triggers, turmoil, resentment lessons, letting go, and loving you. Hey, group number 4, there's something that isn't serving you, and it has to do with being very self-protective by distrusting people at a level that they haven't earned. And it's because other people let you down too much. And so you approach everybody with a what are you up to energy in sometimes. And guess what? Sometimes people aren't up to a darn thing. The assumption of bad motives in somebody else, there's this difference between fully trusting and being naive, and which gets your like butt handed to you, but my gosh. And never allowing somebody the benefit of the doubt as your starting point. Let people show you who they are. Don't assume that you know one way or the other, because guess what? Being fully trusting to the point that people can absolutely decimate you, not good. Never trusting somebody enough to let them in close to you, also not good. And simply the opposite end, it's the opposite energy of being too trusting. You're meant to exist in that balanced state in the middle, where you extend trust appropriately and you withhold trust appropriately. You're denying yourself a broader experience because you think you understand the motives, particularly, I believe, of men. And that is not to be gendered, but you don't. Everybody's different. And we do have bad societal problems that will hopefully be healed. But don't assume that you understand somebody's soul because you know about their biological functions. Get to know their soul. The king, authority and diplomacy. I do have something weird. The knight, triumph over adversity. The wyvern, your secrets are safe. I'm going to put back the siren on this one because it's a temptation may lead you astray. The temptation is to act defensively when there is no need, is what those cards look like. Okay. We have to be able to defend ourselves, but we have to be able to engage with others to have a full experience as well. Let's get your wellness cards. Group number 4, I'm telling you, you're the biggest challenge for me because you're always like, these are hyper bright people. Like you're just ferociously intelligent. And you sometimes analyze things to the detriment of your own feelings, meaning you choose analysis over allowing something into your heart space. And that is not living in a balanced state, and it denies you multiple forms of experience. Lovable. Happy love is up there too. I'm lovable and worthy of love. I set my intentions to open my heart. I think that's what you're being asked to do, group number 4. It's time to open your heart again. Accepting all love and compassion that comes my way. I will find my people, the people who love and accept me for who I am, for I know I need only to discover them. You are being self-protective and not allowing people in. And it's like, that's worked for you for a while, but it really filters out more than you think. And when you start to, like when somebody warms up to you, you get cold with them. You're hurting them. They didn't do anything to deserve it. And that's not to scold you. It's just, please examine that, because you're a person who doesn't like to hurt people. Work balance. I am more than my job. My work is important and provides a sense of purpose, but I must create a boundary. I will honor my mental and physical health first. I work to live. I do not live to work. What I'm saying with the, like, when somebody warms up to you, you have a tendency to get colder on them because you don't want them to get closer. That is not to say you're doing something wrong, but rather that you have lost a perspective that is important, which is when the person doesn't deserve it, you are the person who is causing them damage, and you don't mean to. Give people a little bit more access. Maybe there are wonderful people who truly belong in your life. Maybe there aren't. Time will tell over that. And guess what? You're still standing even after people you didn't enjoy entered your life, because you're stronger now and you will pluck out the weeds from your garden very easily. And the second somebody shows that they are that weed, you will deal with it. But you're assuming that people are weeds sometimes. You're being too self-protective and you're denying yourself a broader emotional experience. Manifest with that magician's card as well. Like I said, oh, that's why you're getting the warrior. You're a little bit too defensive as your posture in life going forward. Please understand that it's something that I can share and particularly did in my 20s. Like for real, I used to like really rebuff people because like they were a source of tremendous pain for me. And so I tried to deflect them. And am I much better about allowing people in? I'm pretty good about it, I think. I guess I could be better. This could be my pile. Slow and steady, inner healing, important conversation, inner strength. I think you're not viewing it as something that you need to heal. I think it is that you think you need to inhabit that state of being to be safe, and you do not. I just have like more would like to enter your life, but you're a gatekeeper extraordinaire on your own experience, because fear and loss, You think that it is better to never have than to have and to be disillusioned or to lose. It is not. It is not, because there are still things that were positive in that experience. Do not weigh the worth of every connection you have ever had by how much it kicked your butt, because you're leaving things on that table that are of benefit to you that make this a rich and a varied and a beautiful experience. This is probably my pile, at least in part, because I am a very reclusive person, but that is partially because I pick up other people's energy and it can be very draining for me. That's my excuse. Yeah, I know it's my pile. All right, here we go. Mastery. You've learned the spiritual lesson. Forgiveness. Forgiving yourself or another will help you move forward. Without thinking about it, if you're holding other people at bay because of something somebody else did, you're actually keeping them on the hook for something they are innocent of until they are proven guilty. Please, please, please look at people as being, they can resemble one another, but there is no universal, you're exactly like this or that or the other. You will be able to spot red flags, but you're assuming that a red flag is like warmth. And that's not true. Release. Radical acceptance and surrender can help you let go with awakening. Someone is undergoing a spiritual transformation. You cannot know true connection to the divine until you allow yourself to experience love, and it does not need to be romantic love, but is the love of this existence and this experience and even the people in it. And some people are not very lovable. They're a serious, serious challenge, and they are as worthy of compassion as everybody else. Sometimes you will judge their actions and know that they do not belong in your life and they will need punishment, sometimes from the justice system, because there's justice energy around this as well. But that does not mean that every single person who has an emotional wound within is a potential emotional criminal. Please let people be their full spectrum around you. You can weed them out appropriately, but really you're shutting people down if they get friendlier with you, because you're trying to filter your experience to lessen your pain. And what you're really doing is dulling yourself to happiness. Did I already get these? Emotions and evolving. We'll just say I did already get these. Let's take you already got those. We already got those. Let's move on. I already got those. We're going to get did I already get these? No. Let's get the Soul Explorer, the Soul Helper. Very good deck. This is the image on the outside of it. Not one of my favorite images, but the deck itself is a very, very, very good deck, and I highly recommend it. 1 and 2 and 3. And I didn't think I was going to at first. I really didn't think I was going to at first. But it's been very helpful, and I keep using it in healing reads, and it's very good. Live in this world as a dreamer. Create a future paradise. When we heal, if our inner child or the childlike part of us, the part that trusts and loves, when it incurs damage, because not everyone is trustworthy and our choices are only as healthy as we are, we can start thinking that part of ourselves represents peril or like naivete, like it's stupid, don't do that. It's not stupid. Your inner child is meant to be released in this world, live in this world as a dreamer, as a child, somebody who believes in all good things. The warrior part of you is there to protect yourself when necessary, but save it for when it's necessary. Don't go on guard the second that something begins to come closer to you. Let's get a romance angel, although I don't know that it's necessarily necessary on this pile yet. It could be, because you're getting a lot of information about let more in, let more in, let more in. It's great that you have your own world within, but you don't interact with the emotional world without enough sometimes. 1 and 2 and 3. Oh, what's this? True love. This is the romance of a lifetime worth waiting for. Divine timing is at work in your love life. Does a true love have to be romantic? No, it does not. We overinvest in the idea of romantic love being and let's face it, that's more than a little bit about making sure that women in particular are paired up so they aren't expressing their personal power individually in a patriarchal society. Men and women are taught different things about love. Men, like, it diminishes their power, and women are like, yes, I must have my person. You've been programmed to believe that. And it's not that being in love isn't wonderful. It's just, please make a little bit more room for the idea that a really good friend can make you feel love in everything in life. Like things where you get together with somebody and you just get really, really, like, you laugh about a bunch of things. That's a form of love that cannot be replicated. It's beautiful. That is as worthy as romantic love. Now, is romantic love super worthy? Of course it is. Of course it is. And could that true love be referring to romance? It absolutely says this is the romance of a lifetime. Maybe this vaguely jaded vibe that I'm getting here is, please don't stop believing in the magic of love. Please. You're denying yourself the most beautiful thing in existence. Likely because somebody made you question the worthiness of it. That person is not all people. Even if it was a series of people, remember, we're only as healthy as our choices, and we can't make healthy choices until we've healed. And the people who come to us give us the opportunity to heal. You may have reached a healing plateau where you're like, I'm safe. Safe is not thriving. Home, sad embrace, movement, and then spark, which is creation and new things coming to be. Things are changing around some things that are, they're going to shake the tree a little bit, it sounds like. And like, is that a threat? No, they're never trying to hurt us, but we have a higher self, and our higher self eventually is like, okay, my ego just won't let go. Calling back up. I need something done. And that will happen as well. And that's when there will be a little bit of a barrage of opportunities to expand our energy. We are meant to be in an ever expanding energy so that we can become one with all. And everybody does have a lower aspect, and everybody does have a higher aspect. And whether or not we're in our higher aspect or our lower aspect is largely determined by our choices. But our choices are frequently, like, we emerge from childhood having been steeped in a form of energetic tea that we sometimes have to decide to change that energy out in order to heal, to have a better experience. No matter what your background is, you can heal and you can reclaim yourself, and you can have a bright and beautiful and expansive experience that includes all forms of love if you desire all forms of love, and if you used to see worth in it. Some people are truly asexual, by the way, like this is just not going to be their bag. And that's legitimate and valid. But if the reason that you're excluding people is because somebody else kicked your butt badly enough that you're like, I'm never putting my butt back out there, you're giving an awful lot of power to one bad person or two or three or five. Take back your power. Embrace your power. Finding sanctuary, opening to your spiritual source. Your higher self is calling. Seventh chakra, Archangel Uriel, which is the God chakra. That's the divine connection. Cornucopia, blossoming abundance, and contract. You have a soul contract trying to come your way. Can you decide not to fulfill a soul contract? Sure, but it will come back to you in another lifetime. And so keep that part in mind. And that's not menacing. It's just that, like, a lot of people in my collective are old souls. And so the idea of evolving past this life is very, very, very seductive to them. They're like, can I stop being here? It gets really, really overwhelming. The way to stop being here is to go gladly towards the lessons, and some lessons involve hanging your butt out there just a little bit. Hey, let's go ahead and finish this up with the Angel Answers card, which says within the next few weeks. And then your cookie card is twists and turns. Carefully made plans could be thrown out the window as major change and interruptions surround you. Make sure you get lots of rest to cope with all the upheaval. Upheaval is not necessarily a negative thing, but it does mean changes are coming your way. Okay, guys, so that was Spirit Guide Monthly for the month of January of 2023. It's almost a new year. I hope you have a beautiful, happy new year. Please don't forget to look for my podcast, which is Logical Magic, Examining Esoterica, currently up on iRadio. It may be up on iTunes for all I know. The first episode has a couple of audio glitches in it. Got it straightened out for the second. And I have awesome guests coming up. I hope that you're able to join me for it. Take care, be well. Hey, group number 4, take down the armor on your heart. They actually really will like keep trying. They really, really will. All right.